term of office. I'm pleased to have the opportunity through this media encounter to address the good people of Ghana through you and answer any questions that may be on the public's mind. It's been 8 months since I was sworn into office, and 9 months since you, the people of Ghana, went to the polls and gave me a clear, resounding mandate to lead our country into a new era. Beyond affirming your confidence in the policies and programs we propose, it was a national reawakening. That December 7th vote was a call not just for leadership, but for a change of direction, for honesty, for accountability, and for a reset. It was for a different kind of governance, one that listens and one that acts, and one that cares. And so on January 7, 2025, when I took the oath of office, I did so with full awareness of the weight of that moment. I knew we had inherited a nation that was tired of excuses by the political elite, weighed down by hardship and yearning for leadership that does not just promise, but performs. For the past 8 months, we've demonstrated that we're not here to continue business as usual. We're here to reset Ghana, to restore the soul of our nation, to revive its economy, reignite the spirit of hope and possibility in every Ghanaian. Through our prudent and people-centered economic management plan, we've slashed nuisance taxes, we've rescued our power sector and averted the doomsday crisis, which was handed over to us. We've lowered the exchange rate, eased the burden of doing business, and reduced the cost of living for the average Ghanaian. Inflation has dropped to a record 4-year low, signaling renewed macroeconomic stability. We've made the highest allocation to basic education in nearly half a decade. In health, much needed funds have been released to fund the health insurance scheme. Medical supplies are flowing steadily. Community health delivery is being prioritized, and the Ghana Medical Trust Fund was launched to help Ghanaians bear the cost of treating chronic diseases. Only yesterday, I approved the governing board of the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, which the Honorable Minister of Health will soon inaugurate. Our renewed focus on agriculture, particularly through youth-targeted interventions, irrigation, expansion, and the revitalization of the Land and Farm Bank project, is positioning Ghana to be food secure and export competitive. We've also laid the groundwork for a digital Ghana through strategic investments in science and technology and innovation through the 1 Million Coders program. These strides are not isolated. They are part of a clear, deliberate national reset that is restoring hope, creating opportunity, and ushering in an era of shared prosperity for all. My comrades, the education sector remains central to our reset agenda, as we firmly believe that the future of our country hinges on an empowered, knowledgeable, and skilled population. And so 3 months ago, I launched the no-fee stress policy, refunding fees to 120,000 first-year students in public tertiary institutions in Ghana. It signaled a decisive break from the painful era when dreams of brilliant but vulnerable young Ghanaians were cut short simply because they could not afford to pay fees, especially at that critical period of admission where they either pay or lose the chance at further education. We're not stopping there. The no-fee stress policy is intrinsically linked to our broader student loan plus policy, which will ensure that no student is left behind in subsequent years of study. Under this policy, students from low-income households will have access to flexible and dignified financing options to complete their tertiary education without the burden of unbearable debt or financial uncertainty. The implementation of the free tertiary education policy for persons with disability has commenced, removing a key barrier to higher learning and affirming our belief that education must be a right and not a privilege for every Ghanaian, regardless of their physical ability. To give life to our commitment to foster a knowledge-based economy, we've established the Ghana National Research Fund with an initial allocation of 50 million cedis. This is a step towards deepening research and innovation across all sectors: science, technology, humanities, and the arts. For far too long, much of the research conducted by our brilliant academics has been funded by foreign institutions, with the unfortunate outcome that the intellectual property and findings are often owned abroad. With this fund, we will slowly but certainly reverse that narrative by empowering our own researchers and ensuring that Ghana owns the knowledge and innovations produced by its intellectuals. As part of our commitment to research excellence, we offer full scholarships annually to 5 PhD candidates at every university in Ghana. By investing in our thinkers, we're investing in our future and asserting our intellectual sovereignty. In furtherance of our commitments to inclusion and dignity, we have distributed over 6 million sanitary pads to our girl children in primary and secondary schools to keep them in school and help them end period poverty. Contrary to the widespread misinformation that was circulated before December 7, 2024, the free SHS policy has not only been maintained, indeed it has been strengthened. We've made the highest budgetary allocation in the history of the policy, as at now. A staggering 3.5 billion Ghana cedis has been dedicated to the free SHS. We understand that access without quality is inadequate, and that's why we're implementing the decentralization of feeding policy to allow the management of schools to make their own feeding arrangements to provide students with quality meals. Our commitment to foundational learning is equally strong. Basic education has received its highest budget allocation in almost a decade, reflecting our determination to rebuild the educational ladder from the ground up, with 564.6 million allocated so far for textbooks. We're addressing long-standing challenges in the system, particularly those caused by the reduced funding of the recent past. Fellow countrymen and women, we've also turned our attention with equal urgency to the health and well-being of our people. In 2025 alone, the national health budget increased by 13.4%, rising from 15.6 billion Ghana cedis to 17.8 billion cedis, one of the most significant increases in recent years. This bold step reflects our recognition of the urgent need to strengthen Ghana's healthcare system in the face of both domestic demands and global health risks. We've uncapped the NHIL and made 66% increase in funding to the National Health Insurance Scheme from 5.9 billion Ghana cedis to 9.8 billion Ghana cedis in 2025. This is not just a budget line, it's a life-saving commitment. These funds will help expand coverage, improve claims processing, and ensure that every Ghanaian, especially the poor and vulnerable, has access to affordable quality health care. The sudden withdrawal of 156 million in US aid health support, which previously sustained critical programs in malaria, HIV and AIDS, and child health, presented a serious fiscal and public health challenge. In response, we have readjusted our domestic expenditure priorities and ensured that the domestic safety nets are provided to cover the gap that occurred. To further bridge access gaps and enhance service delivery, government is investing over 2 billion Ghana cedis in healthcare infrastructure between now and 2028. This includes an initial 200 million cedis allocation in the 2025 budget to accelerate construction, expansion, and modernization of hospitals, clinics, and health centers nationwide. Whether in remote rural communities or high-density urban centers, our aim is the same: a health facility within reach of every Ghanaian. Cabinet is awaiting a report from the Honorable Minister of Health on the status and stage of completion of the Agenda 111 hospitals to determine a way forward for their completion. Our approach to economic management goes beyond improving the macroeconomic indicators. It's about making the Ghanaian household feel the impact in their everyday lives. As the popular saying goes, the real economy is not in statistics, but in the pockets of the people. And that is why I take pride not only in the clear signs of recovery and stability, but in the direct relief Ghanaians are experiencing from our economic policies. Today, we're seeing a stabilization in the price of goods and services, with inflation dropping significantly from 23.8% in December 2024 to 11.5% in July 2025, the lowest inflation rate recorded since December 2021. But this isn't just about numbers, it's about being felt across markets and homes. The prices of key commodities are falling, and for the first time in years, brands and businesses are actively advertising their price reductions, a sign that recovery is not only real but tangible. Official trade associations have presented data to Parliament that shows that up to 4,500 different items on the market have seen varied price reductions. We've stayed current with our bond repayment obligations. In a significant endorsement of Ghana's economic recovery efforts, global credit rating agencies, S&P Global Ratings, have upgraded Ghana's country credit risk from junk to B- with a stable outlook, reflecting renewed investor confidence and the positive momentum in economic management. To maintain this positive momentum of our economic recovery, we're increasing Ghana's productivity through bold job-creating initiatives, and one of the most transformative among them is our 24-hour economy initiative, a policy that is designed to boost micro and small and medium enterprise, modernize agriculture, and expand employment opportunities across key sectors. This initiative is not just about keeping the lights on longer, it is about unlocking new shifts of productivity, widening access to jobs, and building a resilient, inclusive economy that works for all. Only yesterday, Cabinet approved for onward submission to Parliament the 24-hour authority bill. Already we're seeing key institutions take the lead in actualizing the 24-hour economy vision. The Ghana Publishing Company has transitioned to a full 24-hour operation. The Passport Office and Ghana's foreign missions have also rolled out round-the-clock services to expedite passport processing and improve service delivery. At our ports, both Tema and Takrady are now operating 24 hours to boost trade efficiency and reduce congestion. To guarantee safety within this evolving ecosystem, a dedicated 24-hour economy policing secretariat has been established in the Ministry of Interior to provide continuous security support across the country. These bold steps signal a clear national commitment to building a resilient, inclusive, and job-rich economy. To ensure legal and operational readiness, Cabinet has approved critical amendments to the GIPC Act and the Labour Act, which now include provisions that enable and regulate 24-hour economic activity. These legal reforms will ensure that businesses, investors, and workers alike are supported by a framework that protects rights while encouraging innovation and growth. Complementing this agenda, we have rolled out the Jumara program and the National Apprenticeship program, both of which are expanding pathways to employment, particularly for our young people and artisans. These programs are equipping thousands with the skills, tools, and opportunities they need to succeed in today's job market. Thousands of young Ghanaians are currently undergoing training under the 1 Million Coders program, our bold strategic initiative to build Ghana's digital talent base and prepare our youth for the jobs of the future. This program is equipping participants not just to access digital jobs, but to create sustainable employment opportunities through innovation, entrepreneurship, and global ICT competitiveness. Additionally, in the extractive sector, the Gold Board is formalizing Ghana's gold trade. As of today, gold trading is a reserve for only Ghanaians. This strategic move will help maximize national benefits, enhance transparency, and ensure that the wealth generated from our natural resources is reinvested in our communities and national development. We're also taking decisive action to protect our environment and natural resources from destruction. A dedicated national task force is currently in place, actively combating the menace of illegal mining. As a result of their operations, hundreds of excavators, water pumps, and other heavy equipment have been seized, disrupting the networks that have long exploited our lands and our rivers. In addition to enforcement, we are reclaiming what has been lost. 9 forest reserves have been successfully recovered from the grip of illegal miners, restoring these vital ecosystems under state protection. Our Tree for Life initiative is being actively rolled out across the country, targeting the restoration of lands degraded by illegal mining activities. Steps are currently underway to repeal LI 2462 to formalize our commitment to end mining in forest reserves. Let me be clear, since my administration resumed office, not a single license has been issued to any company to mine in our forest reserves. The repeal of LI 2462 is therefore intended just to crystallize in law what we have already demonstrated in practice, which is our commitment to protect these forest reserves. My friends, I understand that public accountability and the recovery of looted state resources are at the top of your expectations from my government. And let me assure you, my fellow citizens, that we've not wavered in our commitment for even a moment. Neither have we been complacent. What you are witnessing is not inaction, it is our steadfast adherence to due diligence, due process, and fairness in the pursuit of justice. Yes, our insistence on doing things the right way may afford those who have looted this country some temporary relief, but let me be clear, it will not grant them permanent escape. Across multiple fronts, active pursuits and prosecutions are well underway under the Operation Recover All the Loot. Over 200 cases are under active investigation, with about 80 people interrogated so far. Several prosecutions have begun, progressing steadily and remaining firmly on course. In the Republic versus Edubwan and 3 others, the state has submitted witness statements together with all other documents, and trial has commenced. And the first of 3 prosecution witnesses have been called and have been cross-examined by counsel for the accused person. With the SkyTrain case, for instance, the prosecutors have secured a trial date, as all preliminary matters have been concluded and the trial is set to commence. For the National Service Authority case, due to its expansive nature, charges have been drafted and will be filed as soon as the legal year begins against the following person: the Republic versus Osei Sibe, the Republic versus Eric Nyaku, the Republic versus Gifty Owari. Also for the National Cathedral, we are awaiting a forensic audit from the Auditor General. Additionally, charges have been drafted and are ready for filing in the case of Republic versus Wuntumi and Akunta Mining. The Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, is finalizing its report with respect to Exim Bank transactions. Dockets are in preparation for the buffer stock case and the drip equipment case. Investigations are ongoing into the African Cup of Nations case, the Mart Set case, and approximately 20 other cases currently. Let me be clear, every single case of corruption that needs to be investigated is being looked into. And once evidence is found to ground the prosecution, that will happen and happen swiftly. Looking within, we launched a code of conduct for public officials with an insistence on strict compliance. A high-level working group has been inaugurated to draft a new anti-corruption strategy aimed at strengthening ethical governance and institutional coordination. My fellow citizens, the scourge of Galamsey is receiving much attention. We've established the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, as the Central Operations Command Center coordinating the national fight against illegal mining and its associated environmental degradation. In a coordinated effort across all security agencies and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, 440 excavators have been seized. Over 1,400 arrests have been made, with suspects awaiting prosecution. Over 300 Shamfang machines have been confiscated and destroyed. Over 900 water pumps seized from illegal mining sites have been handed over to the Ministry of Agriculture for distributing to farmers for irrigation purposes. Of Ghana's 288 forest reserves, 44 had previously suffered varying degrees of destruction from illegal mining. Notably, 9 of those reserves had become no-go zones due to the presence of armed groups. Through the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and with support from the security agencies, we've successfully repossessed all 9 of these red-zoned forest reserves. However, over the weekend, the Jimira Forest Reserve and the Anria Futu section of the Ofinch Shelter Belt was re-invaded by illegal miners after these were handed back to the Forestry Commission. The military is currently working with NIMOS to repossess those reserves and establish a permanent presence in those liberated forest reserves to prevent re-incursion by illegal miners. 980 personnel have been recruited, trained and deployed in the Western and Savannah regions. They conduct daily operations on major river bodies, serving as community vanguards to ward off illegal mining activities. An additional 1,020 personnel will be recruited and deployed by the end of the year, bringing the total force to 2,000 blue water guards. The next phase will focus on dechemicalizing and restoring our water bodies to their pristine state. Feasibility studies for this critical restoration efforts are currently underway. In collaboration with the Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Finance, GRA Customs Division, and the Ports and Harbours Authority, we've instituted a system for the proactive tracking of all imported excavators and earth-moving equipment from the port of entry. 1,200 excavators are going through the permitting process from the Transport Ministry, clearance from customs registration with DVLA, and tracking at the Minerals Commission. So far, we've registered 1,015 earth-moving and mining equipment. 647 have been registered and fitted with tracking devices. There are an additional 600 equipment at the ports awaiting clearance. An additional 350 tracking devices are expected by September 12, 2025 to enhance this monitoring effort. The Constitutional Review Commission is actively engaging stakeholders across the country, gathering views on how best to shape the future framework of Ghana's democracy. This inclusive approach ensures that voices of citizens, civil society, and institutions are reflected in the evolving constitutional order. Friends, internal security is important for economic progress. Pursuant to our commitment to improving security, we have earmarked 1 billion Ghana cedis to retool our security agencies. The Ministry of Energy has recently granted a declaration of commerciality for the Eban Akoma oil and gas discoveries in Cape 3 Points, Block 4, confirming their commercial viability. This paves the way for the joint venture partners ENI Vitol, Woodfields, and the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation to proceed with a full plan of development of this oil well. This
live on TV as well, set and also on Power 97.9 FM. And 11th September 2025. Like I said, Yawada. If you sabi copy say no see abebo Masedi and say meden sempa. Yakoso Memo and the ebo by ma huni ni nyina ekoso matam awudo edu ensia nyina mu na ehania ekoso main mu ene ama hodo so no niema ekoso His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic, Emra one central fu dinshemu wo Jubilee House abankesim ya chese wo de ne sem etudwa ema central for so kwan ema omoso etumi bisa no ensem ahodo na ensem ba ni free ekire ba ni nyina no ye de ni nyina ebe ma ene awie sai ena Jubilee House esitie ni nyina no ebe mo huni ya ekoso dwumedi a ahodo a ekoso no ye be ma huni nyina. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia kopie mu Kumasi, former Vice President of the Republic, ensem ba ena ode nso ode akotudwa Kumaso Nina nsɛm ahodoɔ a yɛaboaboa no a yɛde brɛ wo ɛnɛ ɛwɔ TVS was it and a power 97.9 FM Northern Regional Capital Tamale Kesimi 107.1 FM Bole in the Savannah region Yedemu and Kiligi FM wa AW from Bokuya Source 100.1 FM Sansuna Sebila Zeps FM Pusiga Wen Pansampa when the FM Yako Goso for Regional Capital and Ananum 92.5 FM Sansuna Duno FM Ewa Sankore Bono region Tiny 90.9 FM on so Consumer FM Ewan Cran Quanta Midudu Central Regional Capital Cape Coast ho ena Adom South Ekremo Kotograba Market Asin Fusun Sono Rich FM Ekremo Ewo Western Regional Capital Takra the Sharp 106.9 FM Neziama Elembele Western 100.3 FM ho a Global 105.1 FM Multi Region Stations miensa Nyiwa 89.7 FM Oketekrate KFM Okwasa and a Boom FM so ewo Jiasikan Yenu anama wa America memo Apple 68 FM Etua Virginia or America mama Kwakusketi nini timu no sono Womokremo Facebook Live Power 979 TV SYZ Ghana Samson on YouTube SYC Broadcasting Meeting Eddie Mugabe Masi na sema ene atankulega biga the capacity man with the 900 million angels yede ebre wono jumeko bi adawroma ene teachre yede ebre wo Hebron Hills International School wasi we bi school admission eguso ekoso bosome na ikosi eye infinum no Montessori tete ene yede obane ewre mu Samson na lower and upper primary so no admission guso ekoso media of the Sawam Road wana bi ho Hebron Hills International School Power Specialist Eba Hospital ya maami edu ya se bra na beja yaresa fibroid na etete wo kompo osa prostate minua bema mighty prostate awareness campaign month intino sheno so sa we bema wo su betimi akọ na wo so akọ yes screening no hu se niyama etimi ekoyi edema natural mineral water ura office bi mo Ghana ha fie bi mo a eno ni nsu a Ghana fo nyina age atomo simply natural medimosis clinic and herbal center so technique kan bi na edu dwumadie ebra live kit capsules so ni so free medimosis aso ye na ye da mo nyina ase Savannah Valley Eco Resort ewo dawo in the eastern region na also no utumi ko chele kakra Victory Garlic Recipe Free Dr. Mwakuwa sansu na Divine Hope Herbal Center with the neya no mabawu Divine Hope Herbal Center utie dina Divine Hope Herbal Center that just say womoso aba be kan we se de ofuru duapa no ono eni piano hwe eya boafo dudu ne church da ye ridwumadie ede ebrewo abo eye no me yesapa won semadu anan ba kon na bedwafo a minimo ebedi enkomo ofidua ma enua eye Solomon Owusu ono free United States of America na just say we mining engineer na just say ye ka eye agudie mu ho nsem say yetu ye mining ya yebetumi aye no kwampa so a ense yesu ye river bodies no we will be a wakodare mu ye papa nra o manpanyi kasafa galamse hunte na o ha ene enya eye lawyer Anderson Danso ono so eye mranimfo esan eye nsantwireni ya ono so free United Kingdom eye UK aba and the bogus na minimum obedi eye dwumadi no so na onye boga nya de aka program hu amafo friends say and the bogus day and then me call no two countries America any eye United Kingdom I just say we say capacity for mienu ene minimum eba bedi eye dwumadi ya shase ya na chese ya shase free eye His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ne sama ode atu edwa efa ye Ghana ye sidi no se ne ye otumi abon ho modern amesidi no etumi stabilize ya chese o memo asisi ano ene mabo ya na woso enka ne obeto ade a de be chene asan atum iron raw cement ene ne keka ho nyina nse no ni nyina etumi aba forma bebi ebo ni gina no ewa ni gina atumi amma eye amanfo akodwa so kodi edwa no wo mo so eni agiye papa masisi ane de ya ka exporters ne ho anwa mu nyina na obi anwo se eniema ekoyie papa foreign exchange no eniema ededa na kwa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
I noted that recently Ghana Water presented their proposal and Electricity Company of Ghana also presented their proposal. It doesn't mean that the proposal they present is what is going to be implemented. We have the regulator, which is the PURC, that looks at all the factors, including the exchange rates, including the cost of production and all that, before they determine what increase in tariff is allowed. And so the fact that you hear that water companies says they're going to increase by 200 and something percent does not necessarily mean that PURC is going to allow them to do that. na minu about obusa ECG there also. Mwayama may the same for both utilities. ECG so I propose 200 and something %, but I know interest PURC budget to say omuntimi ento electricity tariffs musa. Ombeshe nyoma a core electricity production mo to say fuel nesa nyoma ni na ansana omahwe senior omo de tariff ni besi. Na MRP no at the frontier your tariffs akostro ni se nipa bebre entia enti wo hwe ECG say your case commercial and technical losses are almost 42%. I just say of electricity almost ton almost me eje ehun aketua of only about 58%. Na eno anka wiase afana bia anka sa edwuma ya se wo ye edwuma bia na bibia wo ton bia wonya just return of 58% anka by now edwuma na gu nso akoya aban de se so na aban abeboa so na aban abeboa enti afi de ya sesa omo hwe edwuma no so na ya kenya omo se omo sorry na omo nante na nia onkrofo mu wia iram kania no ni adini na ye chechi omo na ye ntwe omo aso efise se ye nyina etwa ebema eton no ebona fom enti edwuma ye begu so aye Bloomberg, yes, we're quite happy with the outcomes of the reforms that we have been implementing in the economy. And we have survived without going to the capital markets. We've survived without borrowing. Who could have thought some years ago that Ghana's economy could be run without going to the external market to borrow? And yet, we've survived. And so we shouldn't be in a hurry to go back to the capital market. All we've done is to reorder our expenditure and push funds to areas that are of priority. And so that's all we've done. Fiscal discipline, not spending money on wasteful, political interventions and all that. And that is already showing the successes in the market. I mean, we've gone from negative 3.4% on the primary balance to positive 1.1 as at now. And by the end of the year, we'll achieve the target. I'm sure we'll overachieve the target of positive 1.5. And so it's all about discipline in expenditure. And so for me as the president, I would not favor a quick return to the international capital market. I think we should go like this for a while and consolidate the economy before we look at external financing.
Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic, Samodi Etuja Enra Enumre Enono. Na jese sisi adi o my Ghana oba ye busia bo besia bo te sedi na Akufo-Addo ene eye kenofori atane ba omiamo eye no. Enya ade se nu bi eno wo ye oba ye besia bo se ye kwa mama wodo so akopa besia no. Enya ade se wetu sa na mo na ne mom no nkakra o si ye bedu ye final destination ntino ye nyina yensum se de be ya ye beboa ama oman no etumi afa ne ntoma pa fra bra Excellency John Dramani Mahama kan sempa kire Ghana for no na Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Tofiman no no so na ma Otafre Tofi ye campaign ewo eye Kumasi na Tofi na another video kura san ye den aba say de papa ne de Tofi Tafre de wo ya de papa na Otafre Tofi ni wo kanya sesim bia Bawumia Tafre Tofi ni wi a kanya sesim bia wo wi sebe emrati a o makogu eye TikTok mi social media we me den ho me nko ye hwe Facebook or TikTok or why me ho me me ho because me makoma no o ye de o ka bronya music away much akurado do abronya se mo twa ne be 10 years na ne ho atono ya fa na serve as deterrent others into more omugusu omo ye ana ho ajolof no my study because we bi a wo she bia ye betimi abechew enu aba omi anam no say the aban tata MPP echitafo na yehu ba ko ye che no aba omi akọ yekoyi no omi yi ni free sales no na ba omi agina ho anani age a wo welcome no we will be also a president here die e wo Ghana ha yes me no omi no ye mistake ne ekoto aba ma munafiki we ni wo be president Tofi e maburu nyina be se wo Ghana ha we leader we lead by example nti nyema bi wo ho a wo nya in public media ba omia yes nama bontre no tafe tofe yi nanum mugabe mitie matrasa level ne ade ameye na obi a wo so pe man panyina die nkwada kotena eye social media so ene mi di dwoma amatem emra ye adwuma dia under NDC die yese mra the law no entake course a ene die da bi rule of law no ene say ye adwuma o si jai mrante no no mo ye do mo pe e wo mem ha yetigana ha poku ase obi ekasai umisa wakasete akufuado mo makufuado no kura obi kasete ana na yemoya ne ye ma haman mo makufuado no obi kasete ana na yemoya ma ho ofe akufuado ho ofe no obi kasete ana na yemoya na meme mama hama no ye nya ma abro nyemo abro nipa ni si egu nanum no ni mahama atem ye beche mo papa me se wo ye hwe we mistake who di president atem who di panyin bi atem na atem di no threaten the life na ye beche sa COP Razak ye national security coordinator no wa ambaso ba be di agro IGP fantastic IGP ye tete Christian tete hunu obeche nti sa akaka bensem ne ade no motrase na mudi atem mudi IGP atem wudi atem a ye beche period. Ufi so man mu ye hot mawa no makope ba bia tena ye ne akufado ye bought askele sa 8 years wo Ghana how ti ba omi ansem no na wonam kumase no wo campaign na to nsu ma wonam kumase a wo ya tofe no watafra say ye wi tofe o say ye ho anwa tofe obi nim tofe a watafre say tofe papa na watafra nkanya se ka wonanti ni ye tiesem no akoka wo kumase ene anu yi adwoma ma so de ama no ba omi in kumase. Very well. Eti Bawumia Ensemble video ni ready dia. Yetie a response to Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So ede ama sa esemo mokano.
The GJ came to me. I mentioned to them that as the world changes and new technologies come, we're moving from not having just the traditional media into having what we call the new media. These are all the new social media instruments like TikTok, like Facebook, like X, and all of them. And so the traditional sense of journalists like you, most of you trained and working in media houses that have a corporate identity and can be held responsible for the information that you put out, is beginning to change. We have a new crop of I'll call them new journalists, who anybody with a phone and a camera can report news or comments on national issues. Now the point is, who holds those people responsible? And that's what he's saying. If you go to some of the WhatsApp platforms, or you go to some of the commentaries in the TikToks and others, we have what we call hate speech, incitement to violence. Those are criminal. Despite the fact that we have removed the criminal libel laws, there are some laws that make such people accountable. Because if we don't regulate that sector, it can lead this nation to war. There are some of the incendiary statements that have been made in the Boko situation that are fueling some of what is happening there, making people hate each other and see each other as enemies. It's been the same in the Gonja Brefo thing. Some people fanning and inciting violence against each other. This falls in the ambit of the National Signals Bureau. And so the National Signals Bureau now has the technology to use your IP number and find you wherever you are. So I'm sending a signal to Ghanaians that we can find you those doing those hate speech and things. We'll use your IP number, we'll trace you. And when we trace you, we'll deal with you under the criminal code for inciting violence and disturbance of the peace. But I believe that beyond that, we must start making regulation for this new media because it's unregulated. And so anybody just takes a phone and says, oh, this plane crash, I wish that so and so had been the one in the helicopter and had died, and dwarfs have eaten him in the forest. I mean, why would you say something like that? And so we need regulation for that new emerging media. But in the meantime, the National Signals Bureau has been given the full authority to track down people who do that kind of thing and bring them to be sanctioned under the criminal code.
Ese John Dramani Mahama na chese ono so de dia no se ni de okotena social media so TikTok se wan na wudi atem sa hate speech na mudi president atem na mudi maame oba papa bi lodina Mahama na mudi na tem we say sankofo ni nyina National Signal Foyi Signal Bureau Foyi me bia wo bia mo betima ababe hu me bia wo nti mo amo yes anima no mo anyai na mo kohye toko bi mu se ye bia online ho anwan na mo hye ho na mo dinsim hu wa dinsim hu na ye be chew catch no plane fa ye be chew abo handcuff te said ye bo abro ye handcuff no ye de wasa access aka num a kire say yes se no nya agro ne edi e wa ha na ye ko Asante Mantemu na ekotie eye Tofiman ya ono so president here, the former vice president of the republic Kelentua Tofiman this is on the Tofia no what afres ono so ni sem hu a woka ewo ba wo
niema ekoso ye lose power MDC say omudi power no hunahunai harassment abuse and chebiai ye chairman wuntumi ekotum yakoche chairman abronye akutum ye chiye TikTokers ye chiye bloggers ye chiye appointees e chire said ye here ni MPP ye kabom so that 2028 ye beko akoje power no
ja tofe no ye mistake baby out toss out of no ye beto ni hu say sa tofe ya anum tofe ni bia wo kura ye bechew kasi nim say tofe na water na nse ya okogina stage so na kansem hunu ye bloggers ye hwan for tuomofo wo ye panyini na wo fi atu nkodafo so mo kasa mo kasa fi omunyai obi enu wa watata obi na kufu adokra me say kufu adokra sa ye papa we vindictive we ye nene tena Ghana 8 years obi enu wa otu kwa ko bia ye tena Ghana he ya 8 years ye mu bi mo ne ye court kufu ade ye court more than 4 years and petutu na ye lawyer Judicial makru no de machi hwensenjefo ye chi wo mo ewo ye under MPP yefia samokai Captain Smart mo eni wo mo maka asepa mo wo ye hwe wuti studio ni aba abecho bobi ansa wuti studio ni aba abecho ye tegana how NDC the then NDC parliamentary candidate ya say wo ye MP for wutu sonya ye East na koyo na wo breastfeed kufu adoma f eche ne be say cantonment police amade police station ma de eche boni be no odi ye na how come say mot enante abontre ba wo mia ye ka kire o plane wo ye mistake wo su di atemu be ko awo emra na obedi yes fantastic my good brothers and major greetings. So the law is the law. Emra na ye adwuma chama wontumi ne ye che no kwan be so anamo frisa Ghana na ye wo no ye nti Jupiter na ye ni maso on this earth say we mistake na wonu say emra 1992 constitution no emra ni nie de o say wo de ye adwuma as a Kenyan citizen na wo ni so na wo ye wadwene say wo be konche no akwa ye different na emra ne no be ye den eni obedi would have fear or favor. It is hard the day say MB before I started echimo na mu bawumie ebesudi a afeni ya ba bechimo pawo because krono na mo boy ye no conform about krono ni nyina mo mu yewi amanfo cars ediba wo man no mo nyina sankofo ni nyina na mbra ni mu bedi ti bawumia se wo afutu obi tu a okofo na mo wie ska wa ba mu no wankasa get ready PDS mu ye Palogo Dam $12 million amudi wu mu National Cathedral audit ekoso I mean enema ska mo hwie gu ho ya amfanfa so bia ma o man we causing financial loss to the state mo nyina mo nya ready Inti said ya chemuna mubesu niya mubesu papa and ye mukope rob ramofani yamoni motimi esu yi because esu ni de wose musu ye bechema momochita afo no so asu. That said ye Ghana no is say you different Ghana. Yeah, ye who 8 years under Akufo-Addo. The amount for ye wo Ghana. Well, you moving on afi yanko yen enimity Sasalesi John Dramani Mahama was set the record straight we ye mistake emrano eni ubidi na bibia nso etumi akoso na ye na Sasalesi John Dramani Mahama sound tudwa that's a wo hwe interference ni ade a yen general secretary beka ho ensem no emrano be ye adwuma na obi bia wodo ho be wura sa ne man nyina no ye be hwehwem obi a obokro no bia ye be hwehwem semra na wo se ni wudi a emra no ani wo bedi yenti ensem a His Excellency John Dramani Mahama edutuja on that
there's interference in terms of the oral investigations. I would have very conveniently said the General Secretary himself is here, and so I'll call him to present his evidence to the public. But I can assure you that there's no way anybody can interfere. I cannot be in people's mind to stop them from attempting to interfere, but I am responsible for making sure that that interference comes to naught. And so I closely monitor. I hold regular meetings with the Attorney General. He briefs me on the status of investigations. And so I'm confident that, the cases will go ahead based on their merits and that nobody would have the opportunity to interfere. If anybody goes lobbying people or paying people to interfere, they probably are just throwing away their resources. All cases will be investigated and come to their logical end. If people are exonerated in the courts, that's what justice is all about. We will do our part, and we're being painstaking in preparing the dockets, and that's why people are complaining that it's a bit slow. But you don't want to hurriedly take a docket to courts and have it thrown out on technicality. And that's why you need to make sure that by the time a docket is prepared and prosecution starts, you have a watertight case that will ensure that you get a conviction. And so that's the process that we're going through. There was also a question that was tied to water, but it also had to do with Galamsey. It says that the justification for water company asking for such a steep increase was because of the cost of treating the water. And I answered it in terms of the tariff, but not in terms of the Galamsey in the water. But in my statement, I indicate that we just started with the Blue River Guards. We're training more and more of them. These are long expanses of water bodies. And so far, those we've trained are 600 and something. They are not enough to cover even the length of the Ankobra. And so as we recruit and deploy, because they patrol the water bodies, if they see any Shamfam machine on the water body, they seize it and we burn it, we destroy it. And so I gave you the number of Shamfam machines we have seized and destroyed. As we continue to increase the numbers of these Blue River Guards, I'm sure that we'll be able to cover the tunnel, we'll be able to cover the prow, we'll be able to cover the Ankobra. And we hope that then we'll start seeing, some reduction in the turbidity of the water. But even more than those on the water bodies, the destruction is the forest reserves. Because the rivers take their catchment areas from the water reserve. So if you destroy, from the forest reserve, if you destroy the forest reserve, the river or the stream will dry up. Because where it takes its water source will no longer exist. And so that's why at the beginning of the struggle, I said our focus is going to be on the water bodies and the forest reserves. And then we can stretch out to other areas. So as we train more Blue River Water Guards, we would see an improvement in the turbidity levels of the waters.
This is Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, live on TVSYZ and also on Power 97.9 FM and all our affiliate stations across the country. As I can say, Divine Hope Herbal Center, almost so Sabri, Omoabe Regisa, Omudi, Ewosu, the Victory Garlic Mesa from Dr. Amuakon, Safari Valley Eco Resort, Power Specialist about Hospital, Yamami Aduya, Sirakese, Elkomano, Left Head Capsules from Medimosis Clinic and Herbal Center, so and Medimosis said, Process Health awareness marty or a September will be a free bra, never free screening, a BBA soon to make us as natural mineral water, Hebron Hills International School in Adaromate in the Ditch Media, Ebro, Excellency John Dramani Mahama Sai, Eddie Tuja, Enra, and you may say the removal of a year Tokunu from office as Chief Justice, no among 4 Bibrian, this is what the Supreme Leader was Simra and a year Juma, and Yadia was Sonsine a year 1992 constitutional. Namum or new be a or to say a year Supreme Leader. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Democracy thrives on checks and balances and separation of powers. Your party has a 2/3 majority in parliament. The Chief Justice you came to meet has been removed, of course, under your hand, although the process was gone through. There is talk of the EC chair and the leadership court not being fit for purpose by members of your party. Some people fear that these developments and others create a situation where the other arms of government are completely subservient to the executive. In fact, one newspaper expressed the fear that you could be morphing into, quote, a supreme leader, unquote. There is a maxim that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Should we be worried in your legacy term that the democracy you came to meet will be well oiled and that the 3 arms of government will work not in subservience but in unison? Thank you.
Bernard said I'm in danger of becoming a supreme leader. Look in my face, do I look like a supreme leader? And that is to paraphrase Prof. Star. At times, do I look like a cat hunter? Do I look like a supreme leader? I'm a Democrat true and true. And even when we attained 2/3 of parliament, I said that we're not going to use it to ride roughshod over the minority, and that we're going to give opportunity for democracy to flourish. And so we don't intend to use our 2/3 majority to steamroll our democracy. We believe that even though the people of Ghana gave us that overwhelming majority, it wasn't meant to turn Ghana into a dictatorship. They gave it to us in order that we could carry out reforms to make our governance better. And I think that we stand a very good chance with that 2/3 majority to finally move the amendments to the Constitution that we have all wanted. In the past, because of hung parliaments and all that, we couldn't make any progress because there are some of those amendments for which you need an overwhelming majority. And so Ghanaians have given us that opportunity and say, look, go ahead and do these things so that we can have a better constitution that will take Ghana for many more generations to come. And so that's what I believe. But I certainly am not on the way to becoming a supreme leader or an autocrat.
Well, that's just a Bernard Avenue of City FM on Onesimo Bisa, you know. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said, the Arinu kama Ede Amano. And I was a natural general TMO piece of a man pay. Say, yeah, I'm friend. Mradane. Timia TM. Near Masses, I am it is our time. Frewa, fine, and Frewa no atna din, ye try 8 years, young Kobida. So I'm trying complaining. Try 8 years, young Kobida, I'm trying complaining. What do you say? It and one no. Koyi, o ma invite you almost pepe. The media brem ha. Nyame kwana mi adwuma ha. Message staff wa mo ha no. Musumu Kobi. The mobese mubisa no mumisano. No. Ti Bernard. Thank you very much. Sifakai, ebia ochina ya woda wadi odi awie 8 years inti. Ma for from Nkobi. Why? Nti mensu. nkakra say despite adaroma name me am offer o ma mo asamba back tena fie bosume nso na nya easy die ti obe ne den radio ni de ofie so sa ya na no afi radio kom na ba be room but time we ni de yemma kwan sa bi so bi aye din na jomama memo fefe no ehwe ni bu man ni ye within shortest period ku ratema oil refinery na hwe adwuma ekoso to adwuma ekoso ya nyame adoma next month tema oil refinery se be fan to mapa afra e car akufo ado bottle of $517 million na within few months we are combat Edmond combat and in the board etumi atoto ne ema yi a to esan ba be fan to mapa afra sika my Ghana mfaso e benya e wotema oil refinery ma ya masi ba be dia grow remain business my me call a victory aswe and a Thursday the 11th of September 2025 yenye apomudi mu krato kakra na fe yensan emra ye ba na fe ye dia cancel assign atom so sedemika de two jano and e benya Dr. Solomon Owusu from the United States of America where mining engineer so and lawyer Anderson down so on so United Kingdom broadcast journalist and a lawyer on also Mubetenenka on the show, one from US, one from United Kingdom.
Capacity man.
No.
The capacity man.
What you say, at Uncle Gabiga, I don't know. Maybe a fast and a bassa.
Okay.
Doc, what to say?
Dr. Makun pa.
Nobody, and I say, Nadiana, woman.
Ene so yawada obada nyansabo akwada moment yoma yenkwa ene yahodene se yenso yemetina se de be betimi abodi apomuden enkomo ene yawada me na wasesa do afidi ato TVXYZ de be frɛ obi no aka kire obi se victory garlic mixture ehun komo ene yeba be di no ene wianwumre ebia wutie ye na wo hwe efiri bia no fa waso efa fam ye esan se odase ni bia ti ase se yade ya amman kama semi na yade ye kwa mutimi ko bi na yade mpanyifo se obenya wa na fiade obenya wa enye da enye ka enya hunye die belembom obenya wa na fiade enu nti oda se ne bia no se edu apomuden enkomo a ya na wachewasom na odi afam ye se de be ya ye betimi edi enkomo no na aboda se ne bia da ena wianwumre enkomo ye be di efa edro victory garlic mixture dan mi sha obi o se mi chief pharmacy shops ni nyina me kwa o se victory garlic ne beduru anu mo enso to na asa na me ka che ne se ye de ye boya ho modini pass ye behwe se de be oda se ne bia se be ka victory garlic mixture ne bi enu nti no se siam no ka se abadwa so a wa ope bia to bia odu be bia ton adro bia wa Ghana hanum sei ya wode odu also be victory garlic mixture do ne bi unsaka bia ebebo sa kwan no eso obi bi sa me say victory garlic mixture dro benya we dro a obo ade nyansabo akwa e dia fa Dr. Mwakwensa no e dia ba adwaman so dro we eboa esisi ni pedua ebo tunyare wa wodo ase e ma ya pomuden esipi na esita edi kan no ye de garlic mu ensuo ni ya twetwem vitamins and minerals a ewo garlic mu e ya twetwem ni nyina da e de ewo mekire hani e de account afi e de ankatwade account ni nyina da no yamfa ensuo amfra yamfa nsija so na mom no ya twetwem mu anuanu nu awodo na ebetimi abom dasene apomuden esipi na esita no e na ye de aye obekai a empe bia betwem akono na ye waduro bi ofie afa na titi eduduru na saado ni sifie se de be yoda se ni bia kwa bontia na oba obesebia nom na sa eduro no awohuru ni padwa no ma efi bia betre ni padwa no afimu na edi akọ ena woni me be ya adwene se yedua ni die yenso no nyina koye chemicals ene na yedi e chemicals ensu aye chemicals e kan ubie ma enyarewa adoso eno tin akofa aduro victory garlic mixture edi abadwa manzo se aduro yi embedi da se ni bia akaginamu se de be ya obi bia wadi aduane bia chemical wom wanu nso bia chemical wom akoni padwane mu a ebekofo yadewa abrewo a bo homodene se obanu victory garlic mixture oda se ni bia bo homodene se ansa na bosom ne bekwa wieye no obepe aduro victory garlic mixture na wono no mu a ebe wuhuru ni padwane mu na efi bia be ni padwane mu se efi no efa aduane mu se efa wonso mu ko ni padwane mu aduro we aduro ebe wuhuru ni padwane mu wontin mu mojam se de be ya efi bia ntimi nse ni padwane mu enkofo yarewa embete ne badua so ene ti nya ka che o se odasani bi onum victory garlic mixture no aya no wone yare to nkwanta wo pai esan se enyare ko achirichiri free ne nchesa se ebra no ohuru ni padua no mu se de be ya efi ebiada entimi ense ne padua no odasani ya wo hwem ana ma me papa onuaba ma wo hwem uyo obi ho no ma wo nsa eye utitiriti umo so bi wa obeda so na ne nsa eye le titiriti umo sa wo de wo nsa esi unana so na akotom empaboa hye wo bi na ewrompa wonte eche wo se wonti ni mu asisi moja entimi nyavu sane ye woni paduanum enu nti no odasani biara unya victory garlic mixture edro no enie edro waso aba adwaman so a ebo ase de beya wonti ni mu asisi eka wo bi ma wo ho no mu anase wo nsai aye otitiriti wo na wo nase atata wo de wo nsa esi unana so a ma me papa me nua ba me nua bema unse akwakotom moja entimi pompi ye nkwa akoma no ho obi wo no mu a diabetes hanom obi wo no ma pressure hanom edana ro awose me ametiye ma me bi enya diabetes ma nam no kase twane na de free so ma me empare sa Copedro victory garlic mixture wo diabetes ayo se eko na se ejai eko enyai obi wo no ma o pressure me catch us de bia se pressure but not as ni so a the cover pressure ediba pa high intake of sodium and ye nana ye die nyina da and the sodium na ye di gum edoso because sodium na magma na ho na doso e ka wo bi menne ye nwa ni die na emmom ya pomodin NCP na ensita wo pressure wo diabetes and na hono ma na nyansa obi atran ma pressure nti na say stroke akana to makato say yade bi eba ni padua mu ebo ni padua no enkaye eno na boni fe no signs and symptoms eni ti say unwu nyama bi say eda edi woni padua ni mu a memma wadwene enyi emfris na mumfo wadwene koso na pe edro victory garlic mixture echira kwan say de be bo sa kwan no so eno ti obi wa diabetes wo pressure wo enura wonum dada pedro victory garlic mixture faka wedro na wonum ne ho ne bebo ma pressure no aba form afi wo diabetes na ene wudi asie no woni ne beton kwanta na mapa na ka cho say ye betimi de yensa ne na ndu nyina si ye bo say eba eduro a ebetimi aboda seni a wo diabetes wo pressure ne betimi ba na ba normal e dia ma na victory garlic mixture e kasa enu ne ho a ebetimi mo apomoden ACP na esita wonso wonsa eye otitiriti wonanse empaboa hye no ero emunti wode wonsa se unana so wonsa kotom entina wonanse atatai ma me papa menua ba menua bema eduro bejew eye eduro bakope eduro bejew eye atirma kasa dodo de ya na mfa hwemma enenti pedro victory garlic mixture o sha asesa wononom a wode aseda emaye na won se wonso anu meduro pa obi hweme on fresh 0242 54 56 33 0242 54 5633 onu medro ni bia ebetimi abo sa kwa no so ediwa kagina mu yanhwe wo bia wo ye wo ba o se menya white we ya bema wonya gonorrhea wonya chlamydia wonya syphilis sanya do ma bodi nyina dan ebi a sexually transmitted disease eye namu yade ebi na woni obi ne kokonya empemu agudie na wonya gonorrhea wonya syphilis wonya chlamydia onya bema uyo ba wonya white uyi mese wa mu asa otimu se enyoma vitamin ya begu sa wa mu asi no emu enyi wadwene emfemfiri so tiemim uyo bia wonya yada mabodi nyina enyada mabodi nyina wonya bida wanwe na wan treat ni ya edin sunso so bone bebre wani obi oba wonde bana ne bana nya ni yade esa na se wonya gonorrhea wan treat ni yie oba wa koda na wonya eni yade unya syphilis unya chlamydia unya gonorrhea unya white one hwan treat ni yie ebetimi de nsusuaso bone abetena oba obewo no eso nani ebe ha na se wanka sampo obetimi edenya eni yade woni se ye ni ye owo nsu eno ane ye kane na weni firi weni bonfiri unsai atise na weni besa firi unsa pedro victory garlic mixture we obi a wonya sa yade we nyina bida when treating ye na emfini pedwanum ankwa se bacteria na emfini pedwanum se virus na emfini pedwanum se fungi na emfini pedwanum anko yi a dan koma bi ede o hakase pa bebre ni pedwanum enu nti wenya ha wenyi na bida bo homodene se wo be pedro victory garlic mixture na abra chemical biase na wapomoden ACP na esita wo yo ba o menses emayi minia baby ehweme mama bi etie me sesie o se me menses no emayi ebanso a na eyami ya ebe no bebo be na sa na afi baby otin obi bia hunu so no nkoye ne menses mama papa tie me yie pa na hye ne so se me nua ba na wo nchen papa oba na wote wo nchen na da bia ne message ba na aye yawadi akire no eya na no ode no Pedro Victory Garlic Mixture na fama obaba no ana me nua ba wo ko Pedro Victory Garlic Mixture obu wono ma ne message no emeye irregular flow message no eba nanu na atwa na nsa na atwa na wode bo ne ho safo hene me nua ba me nua bema se wuyi wadwini free so dan koma bi yade bi efe fibroid ebetimi aba ne padwanum na yare fibroid ba ne padwanum a ne hu sunsanso bone die ya na yempese ye beka ho asem e kaso edi akire ba no ebo adwen no entiase so asiase o message no emeye eba nanu na nsa na atwa pe bo hu modne pass obe pe Victory Garlic Mixture Victory Garlic Mixture ebe bo se de be ya o message no emeye no eso ebetwa na abaye se de be ya obo adanyansa bo akwan ofas wo hyehye no ebetimi adane nipadua no mana koyie na o message no etimi abaye na wonso wenya pomode mapa yanhwe wo bi a wasemi wo ho nimi ewo no mana mensa no ayemi titiriti obu an nsa no etimi ne titiriti obo bete ne ni baako na ewoso ne ni baako etimi ewoso sana se na adwono na wayi na adwono e de afri so yade bi na ebo wonkae obi wo no ma ni padwanum eho no ma na ehyehye no ni padwanum atutu no wontinum atwetwon inflammation obi wa ni padwan asia soja de egu ni padwanum me pacho obi bia soja egu ni padwanum inflammation se wunya sa symptoms we ya ma me papa bo ho modene se obekọ bi eto aduro biada na ko pe Victory Garlic Mixture prevention is better than cure enti se wunya hu se symptoms bi ba ni padwanum a wontinum atwetwon obi wa ne nanti atwetwe no obi wa ya atenase adwuma adriver fo wo kwantenten obi zu ho no mo a oye agya ho adwuma wo ye wiaso adwuma ye ma menom na mo adwam mu ye wiaso adwuma bako no obi ti awie Madina Market Central Market o ti wo na awia ehye no ma me udu fie Pedro Victory Garlic Mixture na sase wo no Pedro Victory Garlic Mixture udu fie ma me papa drabani we obi a we adwuma was so made sawdust and food pro koni padwanum down come be one when tweet no one Pedro Victory Garlic Mixture ni bi no one sha sase wo no mo a in food na ekoni padwanum e be ko fa ha kese de betu ni padua no eso eno nti won so a we adwuma was so made sawdust e run ni padwanum won so saka Victory Garlic Mixture e be bo asa kwan no eso obi won ma we na cholesterol obi enya cholesterol wafu aye kese bebre we obi a wafu ayekese obese etwe na eba normal se de obo adanyansa bo akwa ede ma wo no ebia na wo de ne ye fat and ekofa baaye obi zu ho no mo anadwo didie wadwuma wo yenti bodu fie na ade asa enye wo a na wadi aduane bi a ebe hye wo so obi wo se mi didie aduane na hye mebo onidi ma ne nsa na da de bi odidie hye ne bo menua ba ma papa ma me odidie na hye wo bo Pedro Victory Garlic Mixture na mo se de be aduane na wodi a de bia na gina obunum ebe boa ma wo so sa wo hawo no ni nyina na aba ewiye se de bia wonya pomodin mapa wafu na ekese abetwe e de aba fom se de bia wo so pomodin ebe CP na esita ene ni zo bi wo no mo hwe chi akwan a meche Misty Herbal Asante Mountain Kwalenak Habe Pharmacy udu ma banya bi na wo so Kingswalk Herbal Tinatan Herbal Center shop bia udu wo no mo a also be Victory Garlic Mixture baby to adro wa Ghana ha bia da pharmacy shop herbal shops udu ono ma also be Victory Garlic Mixture empe no do na be kone ya catch osem Victory no do ono mo ensoto nti edu ono mo na asa enti adro Victory eni adro we eye adwuma pe catch ne say adro bia wo kwa fa so eye no Dr. Mwako ni ndie eye soronko kra eni nti wo de da wo pe eye Victory Garlic Mixture adro ni bi eno na wo pe no mo ebetimi esese ni padua no ahu ni pedema uzu mojam etimi adaho adro no na mebo wo de ro eye Victory Garlic Mixture numbers no eye 0242 54 5633 and I say 020 129 3280 numbers edwuma awe aso ye mienu ofre ya wonsa beka doctor sesi ada enchiremu biada wo hia anade bia wadwemu kesene ne obese wo bisa no ofre ya wo so wonsa ebetimi akan ne no wadi nkomo ye adwuma 24/7 ebre be frɛ biada yegina so se wonsa ye otitiriti wo moja so ena ntumi empombi ye nkwa akoma no wakoma na ebo periperi wo de wo frɛ ya anase oni edi nkomo ebetimi edi nchiremu edi ama na be ya wo so apomuden ebesi pinesi te na ya wada ha na edu besi ni aka cho se wo modene se wo gyen wapomuden hu yie pa dia umedro victory garlic mixture empa ho edro beji wa eyatrema ene ya wada ha ne du besi da se ne ye besanso ahia.
The National Petroleum Authority hereby cautions persons engaged in illicit storage and trading of petroleum products to comply with the regulatory requirements to operate in the downstream petroleum industry. The NPA Act clearly stipulates that no individual shall engage in any commercial activity related to the importation, exportation, re-exportation, shipment, transportation, processing, refining, storage, distribution, marketing, or sale of petroleum products in the downstream industry without first obtaining a license from the NPA board. Failure to secure the necessary license and properly regularize operations will result in confiscation of petroleum products, prosecution under the law, and decommissioning of facility. For more information, contact the National Petroleum Authority on 0302 550 380. You can also visit our head office located at Jolu of the N1 Highway or any of our regional offices.
Oh, Mr. Entry, also ya rea titi mi ben fiepi nanso ni yamu nyono da se me chiro no ahodo amato a me hunu hwea ebe ya nwanwa
menyi ni se what also tamfo hexa capsules any hexa mixture ya no mbom kotia also no bia ma no anom anka no ho to no dadaada also dro de eno any hexa capsules any hexa mixture
ankom ni nchiremu
also ye kura eto ye funu ene ensunu mu etuma wo ye funu ekeka wa wo je ho a enyi also etumi ema wo ye cheko ebra wadidi awie so how eye also there compare hexa capsules any hexa mixture nanum bom na ho abeto
pedudu etu a ko okanshi drug lane Kumasi Dani Herbal Takradi AA Mensa Anafre 02038228855 Approve about Tanya Wama on more from for any more fra when in Fedum Yeno and Kahun Haxa capsules and in a mixture
all Satan for FDA Aji Edwedi and Kratui Atom.
Hi. Now let me tell you about Safari Valley Eco Resort, the first of its kind in West Africa. Upon your arrival, you are introduced to a butler who plans your itinerary.
We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park.
So many activities, all in the same premises. Visit the gym or the stables, they have it all. At my break, I'm able to practice my potting.
We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife and how to interact with them.
They used only electric vehicles here. This creates a serene environment. I'm told it's over 1,000 acres. My cabin here sits on 2 acres with a large terrace space overlooking my private swimming pool. Now this is royalty. They have their own farms, thousands of fruit trees. I can also have my lunch here at the waterfall. Quite a beautiful place you have here.
Visit Safari Valley Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature.
Brebo eye adwumada eboa eyam aduane eboa eyi nsa free ni peduanim na eboa woni pedua ma etena ho yie nanso woni se niema a yedi na yenom timi ma brebo ye adwumaden sen pote
me hunda me brebo ye adwuma pa e bia se me ntumi ye bibi boa me brebo
ani
And wanting a what the left feet from the Moses Clinic, we have our center about herbal food supplement. What says it? Pa the barber, ama a year, Jumayi.
Now, any Juma.
Fatopa Yenu, and no pani and you may. Na ebuama obrebo ye dwuma yi sene be ya ebetimi anyam aduane awodi esiesie ni pedwane mu eyi mu finsi yi
eno na me brebo kian pa
Ubenya Left Kid or pharmacy, herbal shops, ni supermarkets a ebeo. Sa wo pedudo so etu a. Frɛ 0244 06 8447. Left Kid, wa wo brebo, wa wo ni pedua. Edro yi enye ma apemfo, ma ema omomanofo, ne mmofo a wonya mfie dumie. FDA agi dwedie krato yi atum.
The serene environment fits into the goal of the school, which is simply to provide excellent educational foundation for your ward's development before they commence primary education. At first glance, clearly you will see why the school is called Hebron Hills International School, as the building stands tall overlooking town. With a Montessori style, we have experienced and dedicated staff and trained teachers. Our small sizes classrooms are meant to enhance teacher-focused approach where children get one-on-one attention from the teacher. Hello there. We are open at 7:30 a.m. and school closes at 2:30 p.m. After school care is from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. while early drop-off can be arranged at 6 a.m. Hebron Hills International School is located at Midye off the Nsawam Road. Locate us with GP postcode GW0688 Ga West and GPS code 06884870. You can contact the school and make further inquiries on 050-876-2375 or call the office directly on 0302-918768. Email us at hebronhills.school@gmail.com. Hebron Hills International School. Excel and shine.
Sama kwa Badeba TV SYZ Tana Power 97.9 FM yaboafo nkratu twato efri eye haksafo asoye ene yede ebrewo yewie penafi yesi nkonya tumi digest issues ni nyina document wakwa aba free haksafo asoye the capacity man on NTN bibi aboko de ehusi ane mani age kiki wonti say do na de menchi ama ene wie de na wo mai
bera wase moga mamemfa nchia kase emfamre eyahwe form agimra omohwe yeba wakwam se ye hack healthcare be pacho ye ne ne se ye beba na ya kire wadura efa stomach ulcer ho ye de abadwa manso a ye friend Haxamisha and Haxa capsules se medical culture se adro we na ye bo ho dawro no eye adura a doctor for be enson na ye den akomuti abom no ma ye aduro na ba no mo ye bae no nso so no ansa ya re mienu ansa ya de miensa na emom no ya de ba ko pe ya de ba ko pe ana aduro we etumi esa aye stomach ulcer enu nti se o ulcer anase unim obi a owo stomach ulcer dia mesrew bomode ase obe recommend Haxamisha ne capsules na odi amano na wanom ama stomach ulcer no atu afri ni so na ono so why free why sanse yade no anu odi na eye ya enu nti obi kura timi bisa se enti me ulcer yi ebe koda ben me ulcer yi ebe kodie nti stomach ulcer ewadru and stomach ulcer ene hack healthcare for ye kire say stomach ulcer ewadru enu ane Haxamisha and Haxa capsules a drone tafua ba kunkonya ba kwa ye num bom ema ulcer se ye de etu e free ni padua so na me pauchowo ebi alcohol hospital ana wote say doctor boy yade bi so a kire say wonya ulcer anas wonya peptic ulcer anas doctor catch us wonya gastritis anas doctor catch us wonya esophageal ulcer ni nyina no medical catch us say ulcer bia wo de wate din ema woyam enhyehyew de dikan na mom de toso mienu so nso ma wo yam enhyehyɛ esane sɛ adeɛ nti a me se ma wo yam enhyehyɛ no sɛ wampɛ entem amfa hexamine ne capsules antu ase a me pacho eche wo ho abetimi anya nsunsuansuo bi a obroni frɛ baako perforation no na kyerɛ sɛ onsuro nketewa no me pacho emoa wa omode stomach ulcer ne ba ye from H pylori no emoa ne bebobɔ ne saa onsuro ntokuro onsuro nketewa no bebobɔ mu ntokuro keten ti yen ra sɛ onfa nko hospital no na kyerɛ sɛ doctor ni no ba bia emoa wa na sɛ no ensuro nketewa no ba bia emoa wa na sɛ no okotwa na odia ba bia ho ne ye fine ho ne sɛ no odia toa so mesrewo enu nti ene ye ni abrade bia no na yedi hexamine ne capsules ho adanse de a kyerɛ sɛ tutumrika emane nyansa no aka sɛ mehunya nkasa nsɛ me paucho yade no oso ano ntama eboa ema ho yɛ den ɛtɔ de toso mienu no so wanhwe ye no akwakonya internal bleeding ɛno ɛno bi bɛkɔ hospital no obɛhɛ na yɛde mogya akwakosi ne so me paucho internal bleeding no obu a obɛfe no na sɛ bio mogya ɛwɔ fie nim udidi a fa kyɛ me wadaroma obi bɛfe no na mogya ɛwɔ fie nim obu no obɛgya ne nan na mogya ɛde ɛbɔ mu ɛba ne saa na ahwɛ ohu mogya nyina na ɛde ɛsen akɔno ɛba ne saa na mogya nso ne hu a ona nwokra wani sukura yɛ de ebrimu ɛno na wanhwɛ yi a wutimi twahwe na akwakofa asɛm bi a yɛmpɛse bɛbɔ din ɛde aba stomach ulcer ɛyɛ ya na yare bɔne papa nti bɔmɔden asɛ obɛyɛ den obɛkɔpɛ hexamine ɛne ne capsules yi bi na wanonom ama ohu ayɛ den atɔ na wɔn nso so no wayɛ free number no yɛmfa yɛ na yɛmfrɛ sisi na yesu yenye so na yenu ni nkomo egu screen anim de na nso ma mensan emoso ma 0240 23 8310 0240 23 8310 and 0203 822855 0203 822855 nti sɛ me no kasa wo de frɛ a doctor fo na nkasa na be jebo so na nkomo bia person no mu di fa stomach ulcer ho no me paucho omo no wadi na so no ho ayeden ato na adwe mu aye clear na bibia akoyie e de ama ulcer sɛ na mdi kan kai no sɛ wote ulcer na kyerɛ sɛ ekuro aba oni padua no na ba bia eto no na mienya din e wo saade no ho ba bia eto no sɛ eto wo yefunu no mu ba bia wodi di ekogu na ɛno ne yɛfrɛ no gastric ulcer na se gastritis ana se eto wo nso no nketewa ni mu a me paucho ɛno ne yɛfrɛ no duodenal ulcer senso so abeto odroben ye wo hanim se omine mu droben ye wo hayi ɛyɛ esophagus ne mu a me paucho se kro na ba beto ho ɛno ne esophageal ulcer nemom de edi ni penya de nkrofonya problem ho pa ɛkɔso ne titiriw ɛyɛ the peptic ulcer na eno ana ye kyerɛ akyɛ sɛ ekuro ababa beto onsoro nketewa nim asen atɔ oyam ba bia wudidi a na aduane na akɔtɔ no eno ne ye kabom ne ya fɛ no peptic ulcer eno nti no me paacho sɛ wati edin a mebobo yin nyinaa bia me paacho aduro ba akopɛ ebesa sa ulcer na oti yin nyinaa no aduro ba akopɛ ebesa ulcer ne nyinaa sɛ ye peptic sɛ ye gastric sɛ ye esophageal ne nyinaa no aduro ba akopɛ ɛyɛ hexamine and capsules ebesa ne nyinaa ɛde ama obi bebisa se na ɛba ne sɛn na me de ekuro ba me yam etimi obi timi bisa kra timi ka sɛ me de me bakotoa yi call hospital na me paucho ye sɛ akwala ketewa no ɔno nso so ulcer aba ne yam anase H pylori mo wa bi atumi abɔ ɛde awura ne nipaduam ɛno na dana ne ye ka ho asɛm sɛ wɔn ma me na no ɔtɔn adeɛ ɛwɔ market no obi bɛtɔ adeɛ a sɛbio okoyi ɛma no na nka wɔ so ɔhohoro ne with running water and soap. Now so no esa entempa or painting owie na osade no free form bank ni free form de ma oni pa kunu wie ya no me pa cho na nsai or de pepa no ntuma mu se ya fruit ru bia wo twam na otobi otobo fruit ni bi na ochemu mienu na de ba ko ru nanum ana de aka no half no opase ma ne ba o hye na chi enu ntihwe ade o ma me na nkasa anya H pylori mo wa yi bi ana ne ba ne so na ode bo fruit de aka ne ma no ono so wa de wonya H pylori mo wa yi bi enu nti akwala ne be kakra onyi ba ne be kakra no hospital no yesi akwala no wa de wonya eye H pylori mo o de stomach ulcer e de ba ne bi me paucho ulcer bia no Haxa Misha and capsules and it was here at the amount. Once a baby in 10 and sent them ukwa ye be, nan sent them uko party be, nan sent them uko baby as Sebio ayana nipa about dumpim ewo, and as uko tra by a trot for come one uko baby na nipa about dumpim ewomu, and nunti ubesha obit me bowa, obit me sinizi, obi ye bibi man from a free mu ye den eba bonten. Oni pakono nse no smarts sani pan se owo 8 pylori muawa omde stomach ulcer baibia me pacho sene nso ne hunu ne se oso home ye na no muawa ibia ye den anya kwan abo edi awra mu wenim nyina eye kwan ya me pacho stomach ulcer etimi ba enipa so enti wa ya na wonte ho ase medidi anopa medidi awia medidi anwumre me send di abrano nanso still no yesi be stomach ulcer no eniema me boboso yi eye kwan ahodo a eye H pylori mu a omde stomach ulcer ne de ba yenipadua nim no omofa so ebowura yenipadua nim na sentem so obehwa a se owo dem na WC ewo inside a me pacho wo hye WC na me pacho emo wan kitin bi ebu okrom tai free gotamu ba ebu okrom timi fra bonten ba ebu a omo WC mu me pacho ana afa kura no baby a ye na me pacho ya na adware no ewo edan a yewo mu no ewo inside no opehe baby a ya na yedware wi a nsuo ni fa kono emwo wan kitinkiti mi kura timi ye den efifiri wo ba na sa emwo wa we me pacho se be hye ne nso a se obesi wadua ne so a wo ko ho na no watu eko enya ade abetam aduane no ato atwene da esan se hunu so ya abo akutua bi shi eni ne mu na so ma menka se mu ntiro se obesi so na otu ye na okoye no wode ade bi ato aduane na obesi su ne mu ebi ni H pylori muawa me pacho omiye bacteria infections a obroni from microorganisms a yemfa yani ehunu wo mu eni to osi su no ode abo woni bi agya muti no wo a wo kodi na wantimi ahiti aduane na wodi ni raw no hunu ne se me pacho emowa bi anya kwan abo ede awura mu we nyina ya kwan hodo a ye faso anya stomach ulcer emowa bi eba ye nipadua nim won se wankasa no sebio ubedidi a aduane na ebi won ma ya na enye hye ebi won kra na wantimi amfansi ba bi ye obi won kra wantimi ankata so eno nti emowa nyina ba besisi so na so obaye no won hu abo wa bia so osi aduane so nti no obaye na sebio tamaduane na wo ye den udi ye me pacho mra omde mowa ne besisi so no omde H pylori mowa bi agugumu a udi ye no ebi abo ede awra oyem ade bo ye hwe ne amfa ne serious stress ahodo sori anopa bedi akoni aba beko na wo ba koni aba me pacho o stress wo hono ye hormones bi a release ye fe ne cortisol a me pacho se release ya eboa ema gastric acid wo nipa wasa unsaka no me pacho ebedoso tense ne wasa wo hia no eba ne sana na ma acid na nya direct access and as contact to the stomach lining no me pacho na ekwakofa oye ne kase e de abro bomode ase obenya Haxa Misha ne capsules ibinu anonom na ho ayeden atọ enu nti se obi se menko hospital na mede hunu se stomach ulcer ibi na aba me so a ene metewase adagie ni ho obi wo kra ba bia o hye dwane mpo yapere nti wo sori anopa wo so kontem na wotumi ayeden atumi akwakofa ba bia o hye dwane adi so enu nti no se bibi eye na enye nyina na ebetumi akwakosa lai e hospital na yakwaje ayarehwe na mmom no mebebobo signs and symptoms bia se wo ti e wo nipadua ma obehunu se eye stomach ulcer na eya osa say stomach ulcer dia ene woda ada wo hu pharmacy na wo nchen no wo hu eye herbal shop na wo nchen no okwa obenya Haxa Misha no capsules ibi no wato no wanonom na ohu ayeden ato me pawo chow say wudi aduane oyam ye wo ya aduane ento oyam ye wo ya wo hu obu anu honim say tokro na da honim no stomach ulcer betimi ama eho aya wo ya bo kim woni so betimi aye wusi wo hwadia unhu ne ye me pawo chow wutiri brebo wotiri dompe ebetumi ayo gigigig ma chese emu be ye ye mu betutu bomode anu akwa stoma Haxa Misha ne capsules ibi na wanonom ama ohu ato se osa ma sebi enka bobo mu a ukope Haxa Misha ne capsules a ohu ebeto na eno so ehu asem no number nom eye 0240 238310 0240 238310 and 0203 822855 0203822855 inti meka Haxa Misha and capsules no wajeme so osa ne tamfo
Very well, Dr. For your time on TVSYZ and Power 97.9 FM. Embraso, Safi, Yesi Kunyani Digest issues in Lawyer Anderson Danso from the United Kingdom, Watnasi, or sign a senior member of the NDC in the United Kingdom, UK and Ireland chapter. No, Odimuti Timei, Papa, Pawano, or your lawyer near Uchaji Ghana for Ewa Mananeho. UK open krata asem by immigration mu a obo amanfo papa pa ye chiwa na Judicial mu kura wo frɛ na odru ba bi e de ukona no obetumi apre bail a e de amount obo adwuma chese mrem no san ye criminal wo ma United Kingdom be a criminal lawyer wo mo no mo ho oden na san immigration sa ka ho de and yeah, what landing so your first see what meeting case looting baby obituka the can so issue United Kingdom no can biane nti enye de na chancha mana issue hanibi see no adu ho and the bogus na me mo ba be issue no mo ye bogus UK burger and American burger nti bogus too na me mo ba be issue ne see asemati wa ma me na me homra na fe no abejafo ntenase na ye fa de akabi anya den ento amoso Jubilee House office bia be rebia ene enwumri ya de se TVSYZ ne power no bia den obia ehwe Dr. Mahmoud Baumia de odaso ye ne campaign tofina no water frame ye basisia.
Investigations now with regards to oral. Senya Okayano, MPP address almost the Shishebi by IMRA se abani wudi efa case bi ho se ebia wafesika na bibia o akwenya obetimi aka se you ene aban case na mode kwedu amode bomeno me sande sika na se agudie bia na se bibia mode bomi kwedu no me sande aba se ne be ya bomfa menkoto how do they call imprisonment efiase bomfa menkoto efiase enti ayemra edaho enti obi ayabo no kwedu bia ewo tumi se obeka se you ene yentwa so na memfa seimra na yenjai sa eyino enti eno enye aban ena ebeka eye nipa yede na kugina court and so se oka se o munjai asem no mu na memfa seimra na se agudie bia me fa ye me famra na se japade bia me fa ye me famra na se bibi aban wa kwenya se ebeka se de bi yenje na yebeto aso any case no enti ejina case no ene ni anipa ne ye enti still aban wotumi say even though wako emrana se aka say me pese me san ede bibi bema aban na aban eja case no mu aban betumi aka say de bi yempe yenje enti eno a case by case say o sheda ede adwembone ewia yesika echese eso yengina echese I don't know how to explain echese abo aban anase oman ka ye wotumi se ebeka se yempe nia wode ba no na ye de obekwa akoto efiase ba ni be reason ka se na wode nkoto efiase wa na obeto aduane ama no wa na obehwe no oyare a wode no beko hospital enti se wewia sika na okase o sande sika be mawa ene ho wonfa so se ye beji ye sika chen se ye di nipa no beko efiase enti ye no de attorney general ene behwe no akan na ehia. I've been reluctant to implement a state of emergency in the Galamsey fight because we've not exhausted the powers we even have without a state of emergency. We have the opportunity to arrest anybody, to confiscate any such thing. The laws for forest protection and all that give us enough powers to be able to act. implementing a state of emergency might sound nice, but it should be the last extreme, the last resort. So for now, let's exercise all the powers we have. And if it becomes necessary for a state of emergency, then we'll look at it. It means we have to go to Parliament. The president can't just declare a state of emergency without, going to Parliament, because there's a limit to how long you can maintain that state of emergency. And so I believe that we still have leverage to continue to fight Galamsey without necessarily implementing a state of emergency. We have to, it means that we have to delineate the areas where the state of emergency is operational. And if you look at the area where Galamsey is taking place, it covers several districts of our country. And so we would do it if it becomes necessary. But for now, I think that we've given the security services enough powers to be able to deal with people who are found to be involved in Galamsey.
Very well. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, thank you so much. Live on TV SYZ and also on Power 97.9 FM. I'm my lawyer Anderson Akwaba from the United Kingdom. Lawyer Bibi Aboko.
Bibi Aboko, Paiwana. Bibi Aboko. Abusanfo you be out. Biazi so chiao. I know Achana no fu bi krumpa wote.
Hey, talking hit one.
What
baby, barbering shop no one.
Barbering shop, you should program on YouTube.
So, honey, good course, a quite
wappy.
Baby, yes, our restaurant.
Yes, with man and so I wouldn't more.
And another, so no bar, now or no, Peckham ho.
Ano ko
agrobeso
ofet
wa no twaka kra
agro
no de akodi ne dokoro akufado nya ne sai si edila ne gonkoma
ade beche
nya ne se ya mi di se bibia da na kwem
pepe boni bia ni
manya ne tie se deport Ghanaians pa de mo ba mi man for pese siki asalam enya adwuma ne bi mo bre na ndodo na wo na twitwaje wo mo ti se wo free UK eba hakura within 1 week here na chese ababa ya sem who sem to say
true because say no say be say 2 years ni be say 2 to 3 years na conservative abana na wo ne de COSB buy for skilled workers na nipa ne bibre no mo ne adwuma farm for buy na adwuma ne bibre egugu and it be a license. I'm on the beyond person switch a bim call, especially asylum area. No. Na
the students we are also mobile scholarship for also mobile.
Also mobile. Na do na we ko nipa bia frame. I'm on for baby frame so on pe clearance no metimi at na honum no my adwuma.
Ya
sponsor. Yes. Also person what now? Obe what now? Any possible.
UK border agency.
Oma ba na nia bi say nipa na bu nkama form so.
Adwuma
ni ho peace.
Ti o say ye fie.
Correct.
Yakwa Humano Sodiane Abigail Elom Akwambia Mensa, or Chief Executive Officer at the Maslok, was I a Deputy National Women's Organizer of the NDC. Elom, Mwakwa Barry at the Bayinsa Politics.
Yo,
Kojoni dear, a moment bear me pan at Taboko Juno, the way see a Boko Juno Sap Sanity. Bibi Aboko dear. Well, the attitude is Maslok. Motumi Adji Kasbi Efri Eye Chama won to me. Ashanti Regional Chairman of the largest opposition party in Ghana, NPP. And somebody is saying what I remember. Wakoye a year Chief Executive Officer Oda Maslok wani. Ube to me aboyimu what I remember.
You could do me that. And say Obiani Ejuma Maslok eye. Ebini say ye talk card. Na ya chiche ama ya assign ama for na omwechia nkaka it's not Maslok jumedia abandi asha yensamiti na mse ne predecessors no ebra omototo cars no omodidi MMA amanfo enti ye ba ye no ye hwe mu no ye hu se bebre na omaje cars no na omuntini enchiae obi wo hokra na waje chese otia deposit edi eda manim sesi a Ochia deposit 9,100 for a vehicle of 114,994 cedis. Ochia 9,100 na ya de car na man no. Repayment schedule Maslop nene ye abusu ni bia anke woso ochia 1,764 cedis no. When Chiebi abesi enne say you see the man 3rd December 2020 and ye the man and estimation of 60 months. Not just anke was said by this time na nipa no or ya echie and so one person akra nipa no enchia. The young ni say kojo ube hu say edin eda ade no so the eda manimi Emmanuel Edu and eda so. And so ye twishe mu no the eda manimi ya me ka ho asemi Charles Judicial and a car no ekukodi no ho. Enti
what's the one a car no kodi no ho?
Charles Judicial.
Solomon Usu for US what Yahoo. Charles Judicial no money.
No class na America. What? Yamano notices yamano you say Emma only yen abekasa say yamano payment plan.
Charles Judicial na ba mo office work.
Yeah, enti car no onu say ne car no and dra yakwa ko sizi car.
Big elo makwambia mesa the capacity woman.
Twaso sama won to me the any the buy any say ono no nan cars near 5 and the one ni mo na ye hu say trackers a work car no no mienu de na me say ya temper with trackers no just we speak ye nim da bia cars no ewo ba me ensa ne de ye chesi ya no ekokopie di fie na wotema no
chama won to me fie wotema
me patro an inti tema na national security for a boy and up to 6 o'clock ni ejina fie n'anim na ye kosa sa cars no efi ho e de bae ebi wo ho nso a ba ku bi nso wo ho ne say omaje in the name of your former regional national secretary John Buedu ono na a guarantee ma wo mo enti yen hihye mu ni se ono na guarantee ma mu a nipa no enchia de a na ye ba wo aba beje nti ono so say national security for afre no a ono omu yen hihye se ne be ya tax na kwa di nkofo ho a ono na ye guarantor no na waboa ye ama ya je ye ba ye software ya owo parliament asin South MP
Fadwo so for Fadwo
ono di enyame adum wadi ni hunni ye frɛ na no de pa be 200,000 ewo Maslop ye frɛ na di abada betia abetia eyi ne ho
change yo
enti no kojo edin edoso pa omo a Maslop nyema akwa kofi omho ebra ni boba ko osivu so ye ma mi katri na fepu ono de waye ne se groups be 9 en wa beji sika ewo mudin mu se odi sika na emom na ye di sika na ma no a okode ode koma wo mo no instead se obemo ma ye repayment ama Maslop no ode account foforo ene ema wo mo ena na omuchie sika ni egu sa account ni enti no omo omuchie aye nkakra na omuchie aye ne de omunim so omuchie sika ne de ama Maslop ni but so na eni yen ye ho enti obaye according to omo communication with her no ama omo ne be ye calculation mo mu say sika si ena akoko pie sa account na wedie na amanfo ATS sika gumu no enti anya sa sika no kra waje no tani sa sika no ma Maslop na Maslop nso enti ni fante eka no so ewo zankofo ni dim ebesi ele ma me no emfa mai ama ya send demand notice on farm me former DCO the MC Bonzo ono so the same thing ono plan dey near about 600,000 ono so up to now yentenenka ye the demand notice nso akọ by yentenenka Madam Katrina Fekunso ye the demand notice akọ ono so yentenenka The course on the say, baby to say Savannah region. MPP for catch on for the say, yeah, dear must look betting me. I almost say, it's more moon here. It's say no, all those issues, with the help of national security, sure say you bet me adject those cars. My member, or Northern Region Women Organizer of the MPP. Otomadia or Perez Dome opposite. Car number 4 no. Kojo minko for cause or mokoji offer much of the go almost.
Wow.
Langas, car back. Every woman call for so and you say national security for no so ye fast no could do one tema. Then just me Juma for moko hose or moko or dying can and can say ye basi in enkoye. Enti no you media could do a dorsum. A dorsum, method.
So what's when you Obi to say former health minister Ajimamenu Nidiwa how dear Kabebre. Hey! Bebre now COVID the day or fire in a COVID the day now. Sputnik Viva says in now and the hospitals are being now. So much for the account. Yeah, Mr. Kojokas Nibi of our India one more regional executive. So, oh my God, I want to check cast my cast now a buyato out dear ba and what say your chef more blow off or more you to know me, Juman yet. Now, you did mom now almost media year, Juman almost all my bravo. I ye no. Yet to check cast the mountain in for now. One almost sign a politicians, no woman. Ain't you know, media and drama kai, Nensumesaka. As much as say, yeah, politicians, near say, yeah, political parties, and so ever cosono. I was say, I bind Juman so the saying, son, and also your shuttle, then a bear a Juman also ever coso. Because I bind anything, in fact, the beer, Sika, and the boom as lock. Na asibia or the boom, asibia or the boom, and so and sign ember. Maslock your mandate na was say sika binding my eno. A yes to say sika a very revolving afibia. It is as way almost my 100 million. I was say yetimi each time at done it 100 million. Na asifu promo ya time assign done their money papo for no moon so omejuma akoso. You know, and no na abind the amamia. Men so my margin say was me as much as me patch the benefit, I was say a buying so ejuma ekoso. What you say? You can affirmative action na. Emba is here for month to a year areas be na. For you to chase some wound to me and retrieve 3 cars. Ye be wo I will start with chasing Katrina Feku any ajima no mono. Catch Ghana for bibi say Abigail Makwambia Mensa wo boy adwuma enye mama say Ghana for to aba edema was be deputy national women's organizer edema NDC amanyeko. We are proud of you, but they can say nyame adoma next week no capacity court at wo masa frɛ ya wasa wo apie ewo inside politics dwumadi so one on one na be kire niema ekoso ewo maslo yehia ha one on one te see no capacity court ye frewa we minister we CEO wo beba ha no aba be the sector ne the wo ye no ba wo ye dey start first and mutu a watu no aso NDC ye full soldiers ne papa kwaso na boy adwumaden efa boa ye NDC ene o my Ghana bige elo makwambia meza
kojo me da se me say me sa se mentie tie4 intimate metia tie4 me ahwefo nyina
se kojo ne wo fra me kojo na amanfo ntan ho kojo no
ene kojo Mugabi.
Medasi baby, take good care of yourself, Abigail. We are proud of you. Very well. Chief Executive Officer the Mama Slock, Wana Motin and Kanosaya NDC Deputy Women National Women Organizer. That's all. That be NTS Moha. Casina Wajiano. Tobo Casina Wajiano. As a chama won't to me, you did the whole day in teacher my own to me.
I must say, chama won't to me. But yeah, I never fool you. Me say, Minister of 2 3 and then Cassie. And then Cassie, a cross trip, Fiasa. Not the same Fiano Cosse. Now I shed that dear. Chairman to make it done. I nearly died. The singer made one coming. Now we are the same. I'm telling you, we are so who grew and be more, push your form or not for more. Who shall see some more? That's as I walk. Let me know some young as a people. Me know some people who are here to look up for. I know some years to Christo, a true idea, or Tia Lucas and Ali Sabatani. Najamaja and Wapamino, and Ubi, and a Chabamu to Mrs. So. Mr. Tiamu, I can't say Ghana for Musario, Ghana for Musario, Ghana for Musario, Ghana for Musario. I am tea, and I am saying, another day, Yababa Sasuka, Yababa Sasuka, Obia, who have a fun, Obidia, Yuma, Obidia, school fees, Obidia, a country, Obidia, Obia, what dear, then a Kumaso. Adasi for Musolio, Adasi Musolio, Adasi Musolio, I am tea and a doctor Adima Mubia, also the veteran of Ghana president, of a Saudi problem in Ghana, when I will post them there. I love you so much, respect.
No, I know very well. So fair dance, Abuaji, the late Abuaji, very well. But it's good, and it sounds very well. I'm so excited today because and then my Boban, Ebema Gurana, I my mama, Dr. Solomon, Wusu Akwaba, America is saying,
America, dear Boko,
Abedu Ghana, saying.
Oh, BBR did not.
So within 2 months, what America by 3 times?
This year, now, my 4 times.
What Bagana call 4 times. Wow. Na BBR dana kwem.
Oh, say o mane da makoma so. Na baby am didi nso me ntumi mfi ho.
America
na mako.
Tu ko didi ho anu abefi.
Ma abefi kakra. Abehwe ne o maka.
Eja wo say umuko didi.
I so busbuko didi. I say me this year me so 5 times. But you had your what bensin what the
say one be 11 hours.
No, be New York ba near about 10. Na me no Las Vegas. Me fly 5 hours.
Be on boxing no.
Mayweather coffee. Me fly 5 hours we do New York. And
so what was we free ho. Hey, no dey na dey wa.
Almost the whole day you Yokohama. Very well. Na oba ye nema te saying. Say one dey cost to Ghana.
You say I dance for mun sorry o. I dance for. Me so me I dance ni o.
But was be bia ye dey koto ye no ye chi no. Eh, me ye akọ prison ye dey mu jetri ye. Me say ye kan akusi asema kire wa. Akusi no. Chese ukutuwe se ya na ade achi o. Ye kwa ya ban wa power. Yes, ye dey ukutuwe se ya na ade achi. 4 night. Now that. No so no utu na ba ku mi a nipa da. Wajani fi na wesi kakraka wotema ene eye kumasi nyina akwa sa area ho.
When they do dance so we are say dia sempa.
Thank you. So no mama sha say free ho na ajawa be die say bogus aba. Na bi kwa mama ye na fi yemfa issues and then ensema ye be kan wonsem ne ye enura president ni encounter with the media na fi ye ensema eba the exposure a free a mass logo so eba enua ba eloma ye bigye kwambia next week obewa wa hu nsema okeka eni din a obobo wo ma nya wo ho metie na medi akwaje aban ka na medi akoma SMS obente ya medi kwahi
eni wukura
da bi eni wu ntumi mo bra se wo betimi di din ne se the okoye witness no guarantor ne ye John Bodu. Oh, solo family too.
Yo Mugabe menam akonya iso achia watifo ne ahwefo nyina say no kre enra president kasaye na enra so no Mugabe mame 2 minutes enra meko kasa wie wo nitfm enwumre no na awia na enwumre meko hwe president dia
okoto bombo no kansa so Lucas
okoto bombo be
na bombo no ampa metoye and the no credit the one
America free. They said that just as a Trump hey.
Now only say I'm support to Trump.
Oh, I know.
Now me support him because of the nyoma ba oba and afedi oye no enya kra nti
now so the oye ne
anyway we dey yankasa na die high kwan die tie ne say enra na ebufu mpa
wow oba be full arrangement ko ba
yeah ebufu ena nyoma bi antuto ye wo say toto nti me call overboard and pay minister framing of phone so ya kasa emo akire nyoma bi mu Matias na de koba ni say miscommunication
ba ya mo slu kakra
ba na unse hon we don't waste time ade no be ya rese nra fe questions are galamsey questions are journalists to president Mahama ufi so ba 8 months e na nyoma koso do minister no wo plans. In fact, an economic side no wa outline ni nyina che say
the man is working Kofi Amaboa is working
akoye yebeye yenda ben ono so kan ne Cyrus na say sikasem bi
no say me
no maybe toto
aban ni aban fofo
inti anope o kan ni de metinase but
again we are there one friend no why say two round don't make
a friend no attesting enra akra no just before I make no me share small scale miners be ma ene ginger me ma koto bombo no na de ye ne say no so why so busy say me friend na ohun me testing na ohun nti ene ko fa saa bombo no me na kasa ya sort out see yeah
of mining
in Australia my testing no for almost 3 months.
They are busy.
No, 3 months. But fine, we busy. Even so, I know we need my number. Inti and no pay me na sort out things. Wa show me say and no ma be so fine. Ti me gina fidie so show small scale miners. More license no. And now say President Jitu no say ebesi na nhye pana ye dey ban e number. And now okay ewo ne efe media encounter no ampa nyamba na nam kwamu ba enche san hyehyɛ papa no be den ebeba ombedi so a ensensio sensase enti menam akonya yi so akase de esi nra no empeye menem bebra panyi minister
honorable Kofi
Amaboa
me boss
boss ofrema no pay cheche ni nsemu no na say meba na mebe clear ni say ni esi no empeye very well yes sorry I can't
yes
nemu mamen for we into so media no credit e ba kope ministers CEO empanifo a ya appoint mo sremo e form of no aye adwuma me ba se munya test munya phone call menu ya miss call crampo na mo de modin na mo reply kakra
wo abreche everyone
se me me driver me ameka na my employee FS driver out me me car na chia text messages na me respond call or say me respond and no
but in America when you are working
say communication gap weekend or home to kwan you say
I just want to say where you are coming from we be in abroad before the people we
say abroad me na me drive me car
but who do want to make call
me na me drive no me wo driver me tu kwan ana me take mo me tie kira na me de respond sa ne o ma no tie call ne ade mesre mu anya sa wan hwe ade kosi no no obi nso
but radio no listen we are here to educate, to inform and to entertain so
yes
one thing is say yeah atram on another no me wo frame na working hours say me wo TV so say no wo frame working hours no me by 8 on office ebi obekọ cabinet meeting on Tuesday or Wednesdays obi bitimi a friend and pa kosita ma wo meeting ma wo say nya possible so obi on the president wo bitimi
ebi so na onimu number
na test ne yeden
me ba che say ebu a no onimu number in fact anopa obes ombe sore no messages be 1 million
egu no phone
they important no obo se no
be dey no they important
no say bia wo say onimu number baby am onimu number aji say bia later ohun say me
it now for obi no 15 ho no we ne say
uja no message o test no ni ade na make say message say be
no where the discussion we are taking it from a broad level to here. Yeah, man phone that say me frɛ wa won fa so me TV so na frɛ me abeda na
miscommunication no e ma nyoma sisi normally bi wo ho a enye ono ne fault
very well
no yaje atum ya sort about assurance am dey small scale any galam say for no money license no minister just say illegal but almost e come di wo so e na wo koye me obi anu a oje illegal no tum un say manifesto wo chro say omo me illegal no omo bema licensing regime no omo decentralizing obi anya license obi anya license minister dey enam kwan mu ba and there one ma can be bia anti small scale man makuma to me oni me kasa wie no makuma to me by no ade na ejana no hye me
ya no weslo we say adina agwanda eja so we ma wonim se ne ejani si hye we say president Kofo say no owo akire no no wonim se ne sitie ba obi we mo no we say amemo ni ye different
but mogam na appointees so omunsia how to manage their time. Yes, very important. So no omunsia how to manage me who say Ghana had me who say nipa bebre ni mo time e manage nipa bebre ti asema just sometimes just a voice note so what I say me who voice message no me ntimi nya wo hwe free Mugabe ono betimi aboa bye bye simple sometimes because Debbie Mugabe the America say first no na medwin say obi ha te sa but should be to say chief of staff honorable Zebra
the man is very simple
Adano one office and or then the way each them only so to 5,000 text message a day. The 5,000 text message where do we start? So what I say but he managed or manager say at 48 hours 72 hours he'll get back to you
because we need time did
of course
Edman
is a doors and I'll share the desk and so let us say go so review was inside
I think time management
time management very important
experts more training or appointees
time management very important
and they are very important
because one here we waste time
because I see one here someone missing
the grassroots
hey Mugabe some me dey onim say me ba and Edward and Ajo the weekend many
so the point of the hour
a form of Edward no pania we are many elite ne middle class ntime dear kosono
bia
omo hwe na omo hwe grassroots
very well let's get to serious business na for issues so that's formation say na for hwe ensema abiga abekan na for no enra president ni encounter with the media no ye fa ho so ento aso wada roma
me started the abiga abeka no abiga resume office me kono ho maslo ko ana obo mane say enema ekosni and in our own words me kai say o ka say I hope it's not true the me hu no say obi aba beje car na buo be kwa kosi be say 140,000 na wato ase 9,000 uhune be biem o mabiem na for bobodin bi che no say it di we no nyina beje ka o magima hwan and unfortunately we kwa na sisi o mu fie sometimes be think say obadwen so aba beje ti say to it have it or the kwa koma bia party baby and also the kwa koma timemni bi and also the kwa koma emfa ne say constituency ni bi constituency ni timemni party ba fine o nyina e Ghana for say kwa papa so no fa so giye na obekos no atua ni nyina eboa na so baba beje ka na obekọ na egrom fie saa omo fa ka no enye hwe ana nipa nso omo do ndi beje ka na ko omo mfa ma wom ana mbusa nse de no ye na so de ne megu akwam o de ne megu akwam nyina obekra ka hepo no akọ na mse ana bohu ka no so do na omde ma omne nyina trackers e wo ho na ye a party for penny for na enti enra ana mete ye hu headline no say aba say wakwakwa de cars bi agi wontumi de na me de papa so wakwakwa yes na de papa na yetanachi so the macho man for ba national security for ana face so police for and so be bomb won to buy so what I say no makwakwa cars no because enye fine na because ono kra no na master kikro mo nyomobo omni budget bi ya omde adwuma it is a recovery ya kra no metimi e de ya adwuma so mo ye oje na utua na ofofro nso kokwaji bia na yetimi de ama no enu nti no chese metie no na me de pa so yetimi akwakwa jesi bia kem ekwan bia wo pese obi bua bia no ye cousin baby bi why beti so kan bia be che no akwakwaji nyina nipa na tua wie dia ne ho so and I just love the maturity and everything that goes with it on said the what you and the enso no Obama ne say obi bejibi no de ka ono so tua ne de
honorable reverend intim fojo so no asen ho massive one
yes also no so tua ne
de sofo same man so area
but sofo nkwanyo mu nyana emuga but ono de oye sofo
oh ono
enti wakwa ko tua ne de a
we
so pa osin
intim fojo oye
yeah say intim fojo oye me na oyuma
and me say
me chitu setri
and
but at least we wakwa ko tua
why yemfa politics into nchen
sofo
me pa che say
ono de be aturi
you politics
say they say we say me no about
the personal we no the private
that you would this of can was how this of the who describe nipa
say anamoga name and shame no so eboa obi ohu say ebobo ba pe no kwa kodi ne hunyi
to we dey ne hunyi tie
e bia say shame you ono yan shame ni so ade ase e to bi bia on se kan bu shame ni ske bia
no de ndi o ka se wakodi ne hunyi etua ye mbo na maso ye de bia ne
na moga aro wo sem klo wo ni say nipa no dodo asa ka asa gogun they don't need it o omo cars baby cars master cars e Toyota Vitz no me ade any Kia Rio no me ade so Jombuadu also me very careful yes Ghana for say come on say somebody anka nye kra enti no ye bo Abigail Baso yeah we ga ye to aso no we say Dr. Bamiana mo kasa still but this wakwa share boss Dr. Bamiana pa we ka so be ma consensus bia 1 million no ama we ga so politicians na menti o mazio me na ka me she bobiem matese onam bo a wo chese ane say constituency bia no ba obey appointment nko 10 every one into over 270 constituencies no bia constituency bia benya 10 abreko nim sase ma kan boa enso hwa se wona beto aba eri ama no asan aba na fa ba enwunran na oba bia mu dia ba bia obekọ de din but no de MPP for asem moga eno man pani kasa ma mani soy papa na when we say aba papa aba ampa the confidence is still there and if you want to know how the confidence is there no emra abronye na bi mo kasa abronye kodi atem ne ya abronye ankwan kodi obi atem no obi achi no what I say abronye bosobo akese o bosobo de ya bechew so that say yes o boso two different things ateni that's a politicians they don't use ateni politician be so ateni so that say bosobo de I say Ghana jollof mami okoye de oye ya ma metropolitan police ahantene se wadwane o
when in UK
wadwane from makwa France as saying omo antene den
when free UK aba
maybe I'm from metropolitan police ebusom sasem na ko say every day
we free wadwane
wadwane
Edmonton green hon
wadwane afri ho wadwane afri ho akwa kobo no ho adwo ba bi you see enye so obi atem na akas me nkonkodi akira enye masem so what I say because as politician they atemi ne dey I mean you should be expecting it and entire home but say o kan sem bi say ubeku mampani watwa ne iriti a eye different when you atemi please so what I say I go beyond that tell you abedane threat and you nim do betimi ebi kura no wabodam ana wo ka dey okay bodam ni so do kasa asem ya onyasa kwanya nipa he or she is going to implement it enti esi ano kwan ansa na sa bodam ni no akoko bi ama afa asem foforo adiaba yeah so eno ne cause moga eno man pani kasa mani so na de okama mani so pa na eye transparency and accountability
very important
mani so papa what if that goodwill is there and you can only see how this goodwill is osha kwatia by election said the attorney outer. It was so beautiful when you hear the dancers we need to start we need to start with muga akonya bia betobia ntie sabia kosi 2020 tie mon pa ma akonya bia ento empire was MPP for the board akonya bia betobia because of the good we beje it means so the president is still in his honeymoon and all that this president and this government doesn't need any honeymoon wababa emuda ento nya honeymoon bia ento buy out me say book no dey adwuma say the command be kwa kodu be nanke ye mane toa so 2016 ba bedu sabia anka Ghana kwana nim papa ya ma na toa so na akufo ne ba me abeji o me de ko na chi emfie nwotwe ya san ba ya yes san fi say yes atete no asani abasa yi o na edi adanse ye say bibia e ko na nim o hwe enkomo And then my share social media so any rain send me baby you know me share the various media network and so amount for comments and the amount for be galam say hu hia omo no omo so kasa na ebi mo kasa e was binding in 90 from den I'm not part to that with to that family now I believe say declare state of emergency no I do not agree especially when this government has a grips on it. Abandoned and no now only grips bia. There was no plans, and I face the people were supposed to implement the law. I would don't know this menace. Na for so say no. Then the panini so are involved. Every single person, I know Galamsey, either the committee, either the HFMU was part of it. Each and every to be for me committee based in the passes. No bio Galamsey excavators in them are to Galamsey mano. Aban wintesa. Aban wimu no entesa. Ana about we so the emegu akwam a wo de hwe media masema me kan say yentia gas nso kakra I will leave that part to solo obeka ho asem doc enti doc so ebe so mu a obeka ho asem but yenja sa part no na yenhwe but aban ne enkoso ntie emede se woni minister ekasae na minister akane hawo enso a kire a o maji se kone kwan so me when people are doing some job adwuma so bia what is important to me is say or pepa amade yejuma and how fam on mafade o yejuma. You see, I don't even mind. They be me makra me catch rom. So I don't mind say obesua de no akwa choice and no fail. Rather than so ensua kra no fail. Put in the effort. Who failure, the Ghanaians are quite discerning. On better say on say there be a quiet fast now failure. Yes, have stakeholders meeting. Let's agree. Say pempenso edikoni and I say quiet say fast wa ebe yini enti nyina yem faso. Abano eti abana ekonanim oka house nso wasem kakra mani agye ho eno ankomo nyina odi ani di adanse wo hwe journalist betena ase o me di mi na wo hwe questions on bisa ye o sorry the confidence they have now me nyina di adanse say journalist betena akra enim se abana ebodwuma se oban awosum wotwe o anka aban boni anka abosum wotwe nka niema afiti ase eba Nana Akufo-Addo aban betena ase 2016. The first 100 days now, 100 days less than 4 months. 100 days actually is just 3 months. Amba betena ase ana fe Boston sensem APA scandals akesi any 6 months kra na fe aban no aye so unpopular. That is the reason why 2020 omo win. They didn't win it, but they stole it. We will put that behind us. Aban we was a good one on. Empire bone say aban be koswa na efutu ambema aban for especially chief executive for any ministers any cabinet ne say mo pempem na epem na enkwa just come back and tell the people. You see the people and the mandate no you ankaye needs happen penso away when na say na wotwe bosu me be senkunu ye na ye ni wo bosu me be senkunu ye no ni opposition Bosumi best and Kunya apro. It is only the people who can decide who become their leader. It is any panicha or say call ekoto adiebra. Now kona adi no enyabia. It is only fair and proper and quite meaningful. So but for telephone friend of say mosuma say nkonko to we ni enyabi o. Enkoto bi die enyabi. Enti yemfa ento gas emra prepwana. And as you be anything, the people feel so respected when you do that. Yes, the people feel so respected when you do that and they know say omnom to ababa. Na no die twemi so dey no muntibia antine doso people we saw sleeping at other people's couch Wellington and Croydon suddenly not from to Victoria a dying suddenly to Banstead they buy mansions and having about
in the UK.
I'm telling you 4 acres 3 acres as your gardens go to I can't say you will never uncle for me person my body but these are people normally can of course
my no be near my shops
no mo gabi wo you cannot buy nya so what I say enye ni omo couch no mo da so what I say no mo be kwa na yakope budget hotel mo airport no ma kwa dem ade echi a
ebi mo kwa dem
yes of course no
but theft ni ade shops bi wo UK
but suddenly this
style bi
yes overnight na failure suddenly almost to talk a dime £4 million it is that impunity if you slam it in the face of Ghanaians the average Ghanaian enim sa ban bi enti face camera ne botom
exactly
but onim say akwan be na ban toto na ho ben han ne kakra
especially
obi ka se obi ben han ne kakra
so just was organ has in the face cement
ɛno ne akwan aban we nam so na menim sɛ ɛbɛkɔ awie papa ɔkyea yɛbɛtene no aban ne kyea biara yɛbɛtene no na fe appointees ne ministers nso amontimi manage mo time no please manage your time you go back to the people again wona yɛne ne kyekyere aboa no no ane ne sane o so ho enti mo amono mo kɔ fan place na mo no mo twa nsuo ɔnkye sɛ de bɔ mu so ho enti no sɛ bibi kura ma ya ofro no afa anawja the voice de kaka say awe me hu so afre me nanso no bibi mai bibi ba betemenka eno kwa ke kobet ma ba cha na danfo mini minister kasa minister mpo assure me say bibi ba metenenka that voice message na woni phone so keke no na re teacher no
re teacher so woni
pa ho but we so de me kana mabo Abigail elom mensa baso o friend 10 times or better 10 times or reply 10 times. She's a very good person. Omo amount for from omo fan. Me say na America me maji wo but on crop for na to abado koye no me twa me maji wo no moda but on crop for de koye no sa on crop for na me say na no de koye no ya ante won kan wasan ba bi me enya wodan. Think about it. Politicians should always learn. If you want to stay in the game forever, you can stay in the game forever.
You go back.
Before say when you're sick, it's all about money now. Mind you, you're only 40 years, 42 years. And rather than more the 80 years, grab a mobile. Minister be former minister. Me money di NDC minister be. In 1982 na no minister. Me kuni fee boga. Na ne kan ye dum. Prepaid kwa no ni bi. I had to send them go to prepaid. He is a former minister. As he say no, wakwa me GM da. Ama se say no. Wayemre enti no so offer say from tiwoda from tiwoda and then when you sika wata betimi tu and I open ko wanim na you are still young, you go to the people for their mandate again, and this is where the people will tell you say na na do koye wa ma
power expiring date.
Of course, also I'm very very careful. Talk to the people. You don't have to give them money, you don't have to help them. If you can't help them, you can't help them. Obianim so be a kopombo he ma menka semoncho chief of staff, the vice president secretary, vice president secretary, yenina obia serve under the EU of the president. What's oman penny and to obia ni mopio ni nyanse bia ni say untimi nwane nkonkosi awie chief of staff ma ka se kokoye adwuma wi no man penny ka se obia kokosho bende. And as a minister cross sector, because chief, where you expect when you hear one of yes, what I say exactly. Entino say what promise will be so bet me up 191 or for Fanaka chance be my entino until one cano.
Oh, yes, silent.
So we are silent and yet they are home say before so but only the partner and I'm 24/7. They be out now, friend, and I don't know frewa umfino. So madam Baku say no appointment and no friend gentleman back obebuano. Or friend no one. That when you an appointment who will be pencil when you an appointment no for telephone no friend. Oh, congratulations. But for 2 months in. Mente wonka. Who wants my appointment I friend me. I know say you can't give me appointment. But I'm telling you say be assume say bet my appointment one number na. I'm only because I'm a frog can say the president executive secretary no one number na. And I want to contact her. It's as simple as that.
Where's your money today?
Where's your money today? May so rest in peace, man. May so rest in peace, man. May their souls rest in peace, man. Ni papa say.
Limona Minuru.
Fantastic, man.
Live on TVS was and also on Power 97.9 FM. This is your number one political talk show in Ghana, Inside Politics. Studio Dr. Solomon also from the United States of America and lawyer Anderson Danso from the United Kingdom. And they two bogus and I'm more show. Dr. Solomon, over to you.
Yo, thank you. Mugabe, I think say and then no topic no dear. Say President wakasa ena nie ekoso na ban mu na waba abekasa amagana fo ati media galamsey no na yeme baby a onse nra yes questions no ekobe 2 times as 3 times anki jai o mu nyina kwan hwe questions be
galamsey na
galamsey state of emergency no obi samia menjintum
was it trouble
mumientu yebo kakra niama meka se mumientu yebo kakra ne say
8 months
enemene minister of premier yedi nkomo no chrechere nsemu ni ade no it's unfortunate say na ncheche mu na mantemu a de bomb bai nemum plans wo ho a enche bia minia enche bia sa responsible mining na minus no ebe ye adwuma ama ensensuo nsensa asem mekaye eno so president confirm say ABC ne no omunya implementi omunya training minus no on ekwan papa ombefa so a ensensuo says omun training omo eno omo ni license na ye galamsey for no so no omo de omo kra de omo ye illegal but omo so no enhyehyɛ egu kwan mu a license no omo pa chise wote asankrego akura wotwa kwan e bankran no omo be start a decentralize no M started from our district and I say minerals commission a form of minerals commission offices what the various way no and Mr. Ismail about so 60 minerals commission offices be in the time
when commodia when a year sector
on friend me and I make us say no bomb no e koye no nchirimuaba
ama wakuma
to me meti unse
to the share that experience you know your conversation with him no
normal people are mean to me can with
but the ones how
but you made to me I can make
for the public way
me assure public no especially small scale miners or more license any illegal miners or money license say minister enche on the minerals commission for forestry for near the almost even go board for nyina ebem am a responsible miner no ebeyejuma good no omo license no omo be training omo ema omo aye ne kwan papa so omo license na make say omo license no be ye mo manya ne ntem na omo nya ne ntem a na omo training omo kwan papa no ama nsu say ye ne nsase say ye na ye den abrasi eno ye minister nkoma me need just that sikasembi na enya because it costs a lot of money to do that and sikani nya ready any ade ne nyoma bi wo ma omo hwe resolve na omo move forward and I'll be here cross am agent fia koye deal bi like wako strike deal or is it Dubai or China or these Asian countries Libya $1 billion eba for the responsible mining.
How was this?
Yeah, ni na yesika ebe mu a omo beye which is good. Intino Ghana for almost state of emergency no memenje ntum afro na na do use 8 years one fa ni bibia or the ban almost 2 years 2017 March 2017 to December 2019 you know date ni
consultant
Saban 2 years no so mo den hyehyɛ ankusiaga
adanko da
adwo
so the presidency no
Professor Fenton Boatin Babo nti beto bomb say wo ma ojubru house fo ni bi yeden e ka ho anu so koye nsem bebre eti President Mahama 8 months moma ye manemre ode nhyehyɛ egu akwan mu a enche ebe fitias na fitias a mo behu se hwɛ ye fe Mugabe problems na e wo ho no eye miensa 1 asase no so no mu ye adwuma no nsuo no mu yisu ye friend waste water nso omu washe anwea na eye na abedane madid na mercury ni this mama nyoma no enti eno no omu ya sisi operations no omu ye no omu ya they don't control it, they don't contain it, they don't treat it na afa streams ni mu na akobo nsubonten eye pramune ankobra mune brimu no na ma ani aye poto eno ye 1 2 anyone mo ye adwuma wo insuo nim no insuo nim nso no emra emma kwan eye untumi mine wo insuo nim even 100 meters from the river no say insuo ni a untumi mine within 100 meters wa untumi mine within 100 meters but no krenya mianim ebesi ne o mine wo insuo nim and there but I mean that's a
sinsuo nim
omu sinsuo nim ye ne
100 meters kwa no man
omu sinsuo nim omu ye yes that is the truth enti mesre say blue water guard for no they should up their games and no there men nyadia mekomechi that is the fact ti omu we because say omu tumi yi omu free so no so a then there is a technology a ye be cleaning so nim atin so nim eni nyina wo ho Mugabe ni nyina wo ho a eba ena asase no so de no me se minister ne medi nkomo ne
wo ye nim de wo ye wa America eni nim se
ena me kire se
ne baga boy because America no mutu
me say America me aduma me say gold mine nsuo bi anse ho unim say the whole world America gold production America to so 5 Ghana to so 6 you too gold to America see China
number 1 right
China number 1 ta nkofo no ma bet na ha say use you omu too
China omu say use
ba omu say other na eja omu say that is where I find it difficult do baby na adwene no e charge na mato bomb no
yeah slow down
yes so the man charge
other na ma China for no kwan all because you see China ye fan Mugabe uni wana osafumafo mekoto ne bomb wo Washington DC ekomisa an question ebe yedi
ya de bofu ye
uni wana nanado fence New Jersey mekoto bomb kire na no so wanya asem papa bia o se megunu ni mu ase a ade chi mesa akọ Prince University a omo e block me a ekoda ne ntokwa no meboa
kure
ni na ya ashamwana yija no a NDC for Mugabe wo ka ho bi twabo aban dada no sade ni yija China for no mo ko free na Ghana for de omo tum me better na won kan ho
me fire Kufuado
now fire Kufuado ronka se komonko anyway I'm our interview me several times
I remember
Mugabe I will be a dishonest person simba bet na han maka say aban we de ya muntaka e ba bontin be ka say ye chi foreigners na yemfo wo monko no I will be a dishonest person bet na say e ya sempa minjintum muntaka wutie me a minjintu na merihenu na kasa one way a metu bombo
and be hold on to me
me fire no
oh my brother please hold there
oh your brother to me for ada na wo chi Ghana ni dia na ko tu na wo chi chan ya so what be that
we ni ene ma no
what be that I know dey anye say galamsey for and minus na enemy ye meet na mebufu o kan wo
aba we different from Akufo-Addo abai
what is the difference between Akufo-Addo chi Aisha one no ja no any muntaka and President Mahama China ni no so ko wajan what's the difference tell me what is the difference masa yenka eno no ye be ka ho ase mabe ye be ka ho ase say ya ade a ye China for na ye di omutum ti said ye Ghana for ye di omutum na enka problem no eso nkofo onu say worst case scenario me koye kra na o chimi amenya msike e be deport me Mommy anka no kre
na China for no me do so pa ho
ai assemble na opese
the financiers
assemble na opese
region be no more pa
everywhere 13 out of the 16 regions
say we say manso woni adanse wo no sa oboase
za enclave wo no
Greater Accra region voter and then new one uti
these 3 regions
hope yaken na ye galamsey China for no everywhere they are there
mo be important so ka ho
Sansupa Suniye manen wo e wo krom ha e sansu kan
so ba
meba mami fancy
what is the problem
mami fancy enti mesre Mugabe usre me mesre me da no krenda wa na maka many minister we ya wa che ni nsemu a wa sure ye bibia me tra me kan say enoma papa nam kwamu banti Ghana for about state of emergency ni the President Mahama iniso ye ni I disagree we can do it well for the water to be protected and the lands to be reclaimed if we be concurrent reclamation omutu na na omusiesie
omachi
etuni do ombetu no kwampaso tigana fonya boti nembo mesre President Mahama mesre minister mesre finance minister muhwe na munkeka ne omambum na Ghana encontentem na Ghana fo hu se insuo nani ate ensas na enyenso e betena ha enya bebi papa eden akasi se ubisa me se galamsey no ene Akufo-Addo time no difference o make us meaning who difference because
abano was show commitment was show bibia ma won say ene ma
what's the difference between 9 months
and say na wo blue water guard abaso yi so na wo mbaso omo api omo game
omo hwe no
na just omo say wo
omo hwe no omo apu omo game there is room for improvement
I like that
there is room for improvement of course media no normally there no crown waka nyese minister frame ma ya tutu no mentino no mebuwa me be president
David say you don't have to
me president bia small scale miners me assure mo campaign no muni madwuma me ye ne assurance sa me de ma mo a mo bo campaign eye adwuma e ma mo to aba ne boom e de ma pe Mugabe ni me dance ni mesre mo didi amunya wo mi mu no unsanya didi na wo mu se me advocate se mo behwe aban bɛhwɛ na deɛ mo hwehwɛ mo nsaka na mo ayɛ adwuma kwan papa so mo didi ɛma Ghana nso so yabɔ nsuo no ho ɛne nsase ho ɛba ɛnkyɛ ɛbɛba.
Very well, that's Dr. Solomon, also from the United States of America, live on TVSYZ and also on Power 97.9 FM. Divine Hope Herbal Center. Divine Hope Herbal Center near no mabela ncho mu odwumadi so makofa ye powder bia ba ye first otwea herbal powder no otwea herbal powder wunya bia wo bia osisi eye wo ya we oba we be ma koko na afifi wo nyema nkoyi sexual weakness se be ma de obo adwuma wi itimi for capacity be ma otumi obo adwuma wi itimi for Anderson be ma obo adwuma wi itimi for ni Solomon be ma obo adwuma wi itimi for ni Kevin ene Same ene wo mo maka Anthony ne wo sa o mo adwuma wi di a menua abebrese ene ho ahwa mo mesrewo kope eye Divine Hope Herbal Center wo mo pado mo di aba ye fan se otwea herbal powder ni bi na tumi aboa wo ba o konfitira anu ayase bo dwedwe na esi low libido ni stroke nyina no osa aboa yie papa yese ade no yaye no sachet wo sachet mu nti wo di begu eye nsu ya aye dede kakra na wanom powder no aye de ne wanom na ewe ni paduanum na chese enua eno wo pebia to a mo am ko foru dia mo de mo ne kire eye Gapson Pharmacy a mo benya bi ho sanso na cap heba e wo sunwane House of Drugs e wa Shaman eye boachi ansa e wo Cape Coast na boachi heba wo Tema na PK eye Gumbila e wo eye Tamale fre eye Divine Hope Herbal Center o mo de otwea heba powder digu nsu de mo enum e wo 0591 565557 0591 565557 and 0550 639037 050 639037 na wunya wotwea heba powder bi o say uja shewa wara obeden obeba. Power specialist about hospital mami aduya na every omode hepatitis B obi amo hepatitis ne hamo tetemu say ABCDE fatty liver sciatica prostate uno pede mebe na atechema ulcer compona ese minimum fibroid minua ba awon ho ayede amawa wuhia say odo ne be kire power specialist about hospital mami aduya atumi aboa kumasi ofi yase legbosumje kwantempo no so yere Jezebel filling station edin hwani mu Accra kwa benya poko CCP kwa tempono na takwa de wanaje estate ye be anaje emmy primary school no fie ma me edu ya on 0244544422 0244544422 S natural mineral water nso ne du sopo ne de ba adwuma mo 37 na BBC Street SYZ broadcasting wo ba ha dudu bia pebia Mr Robert ho ana so ba frɛ eye Mr Clifford on 0596273546 0596273546 dudu bia pebia no se wotopuna frado for your wedding engagement school for ene ebusua trase mu principal papa dia S natural mineral water say simply natural Medimosis Clinic and Herbal Center say month umi September so your prostate health awareness month ya just say will be a prostate no entohwea no o say utumeko na eja doctor for miemia no mo say bibia e kama na ja wo say bra we free screening and wo ye e dia ma ememe nyina no se ne branches awudu ni nyina omeye adwuma ewom Medimosis asoyi ebi ewo eye Accra Ministries Ghana Highways Authority yard num na Adenta Barrier oni eye police station edin hwani moje kojo school for the deaf no ono so benwo ye papa shaman kumasi ahene makokobe ho nyina be ho no tutumirikai ana so be frɛ eye Dr. Medimosis on 0244 068447 0244 068447 ofrena obejo so Lift kit capsules nso free Medimosis asoye wana akɔfa aba lift kit capsules wunya bi na wo ba eboa mamoja etimi di ni pedua no mo frusa na yie digestion so no etumi eboa yie papa enhance eye metabolism ene san boa support eye liver function kope lift kit capsules ni bi nenom nemboa nsisi obrebo na kama emanom ememanom kope bi nenom ni nsisi ni pedua ni yie free Medimosis on 0244 068447 0244 068447 wo fa ebejo so na bibia so etimi akonkan Safari Valley Eco Resort lawyer Anderson Dansu otie ne yire Linda Efri eye United Kingdom edeba ene ne ba Kofi ene eye ahofefo yi omo free eye Britain omo ba ehwa ene omo dai yidunua na aye papa chese wa wura dan mo say yes edan papa nie wotrans environment we very very conducive ontentontomonka ene obeti bibinka na chese eye antelope ena ATM kakra anase eye zebra na wodu ha peacocks ne ade wani beje environment we ye papa semu ye jumaku government institutions any department and agencies ebiamu meeting be a conference be ye na mo de money actually Safari Valley Eco Resort womu tewu in the eastern region from 0596914394 0596914394 na ofra womu ebejo so womu swimming pool womu wo gym sanso ni monu anenso no mo serve local and continental dishes the Dr. Solomon if America be na eye lawyer eye Anderson dan so if eye Britain abey na just a pound say any dollars na mo de bi ko na mo so makwakosesa na mo so motimi agimoni kama vitu garlic mesa enei Dr. Amuakon nem sini motene ka ewa ha kope bi nennom moja betimi adi nipadua ne mafrusa ne blood circulation wo hia victory garlic mesa nipadua ne begina ne naso na immune system no etumi agina ne naso yi a wo hia victory garlic mesa wo bi o ntumi didi woni mu ato bo ne beka se loss of appetite wo hia victory garlic mesa oba ko victory no aya se bo dwedwe wo hia victory garlic mesa wo bi a wanya ulcer didi yi na no victory garlic mesa no ahode ebeba wo pharmacy shop anase herbal shop bia nationwide wo benya victory garlic mesa ni biato for Dr. Amuakon 0242 545633 0242 545633 and 0201 293280 0201 293280 nanum fo no we say na media na da bi wo pedu papa nya holism for the ni bi victory garlic mesa minua Azik Usu Ansa of HFM Kumasi head of sports in Chaka Sekese Koma no yire eni abusuani nyina sanso enemisa Randy ufi Japan Tokyo ngaba bi drew Ghana God bless you munkoso na mu enti sanso na PPA chief executive officer minua lawyer te salamu alaikum mijise bibia aboko ne board of directors amu nyina no ye chacha mu nyina ene awie 49 minutes inside 5 aka 11 minutes na about 6 nemom ye wasima be nsia ye betumi dia ye bibi kakra 33 minutes each me fama Dr. Solomon ene lawyer Anderson na afa ye fa prakwem ne afa dwumadi nyina ema awie na aja ye so so ma nwumre no si aka sebo eno so entumira lawyer Anderson 3 minutes
moga medasipi me answer me nya feel be say me say Kofi Apalo afedi em say o ma yi no na wetimi amiti ni be condition
so ka papa
o say me kind say me ka Kofi Apalo do be o Ghana na dwen boni o de ba Ghana nyina say o ba o boss
Apalo so ba te say abo papa
na say utu ne fokura say sa adwen o de ko Ghana o nya say obenya mane
Kofi Apalo okay
me kai pa e be wi ase no ba
be benefit beautiful creed dani
Muga the mechanic say yenkoso nya gidie ewo aban it's important say because nya gidie wa aban no enra wo hwe mampanin koma one eye omanfo die no a centrefo fire om de koe na bibia di adanse se ne maguna kwem na se de na solo akasa na ne abere den no se eni ba akomienu bi ekem kakra no do se mine ne da na akoma so papa ba ni nyina no yes in the field of course ni nyina no eya na ya abotre abotre
Samuel Kuti
me MP no
se
ekwafem me MP no yeah me MP no yeah entino
na otisho wo se
say
no that's Samuel
chiao
ba comport no hie MP so far so good
Samia yenka Samia oku asem o de ya chire be kan me MP no
okay
me pro me MP no
na say bu ho nyom ye galamse o
ye honom no eso honom no ande me nyanhu and also no galamse unim galamse so pa
da bi abeso
da bi we na fa ne galamse
na fog aji wa fa
na ba kwa galamse ku tu galamse da bi body galamse no honom o ka say still region nyina dia eni enim say down honom e ko fa kwati e ko fa abenum bosumase ba do ko kutu bosumase ana tutu ana adwerase ana se mampo ana se monokrom e fa na go to galamse
so ko fa na che kro free sa kwa no
e wo fe okugwa me kwa no senior finance say me no go we yeah me no for yeah it's a crown pay say heritage site ni bi amanfo kokkohwe ne ma pa ho ba yeah and Dimitri minutes ni na me mfa ma no ensi wa hanom na mechia enipa ehwe nyina obi ayi Laurentia ehwe free sefi de biso
okay
sefi de biso me fa sa kwenye so achia na fe ya Debra ene afi nso jo me das me no besia na masa babiem da bia benya kwan ba tonsa free me bia
sama bande no baba
the golden country all the time
they will continue to serve Madagana Dr. Solomon
yo Mugabe say me bone tofa edikan maslock nsensem na ebae no penny forces o hu se obi abodwe se ehia sensu esudio and then the MPP for no mo expose o mo
no ma pressure Abigail
yes inti NDC for so ya appoint mo no mo nkan se wo hwe the whole scenario greediness selfishness and ama we nyina ba because we more mojije cars ne size kana obia wo more than enough
you don't need it at all
to me
high end cars at $300,000 anyway
I don't say maslows kanu president ko for the maslow can buy no for the bama ehiafo obro hu
scholarship
obi wo MPP mu that time or per 1,000 Ghana cedis dia cotton board here o je o man fi na mo koji sikapudu abra mumu wo bi greediness
greed
entino
yes it's nothing short of greed
NDC for appointees mu fantu mu fo from promohi enti woda me offer Professor Frimpong what na say power is transient
of course
ochina na yasa betina ha biu
na mesumede wo maslow
yes na onso di
sama kwaje cars
ba mogaya mo bia kwa mo bia mfo bia nko position
me di maslow di ni
ya mo bia mfo nko position bia mu ya mo bia kwa nsa bia mu
forever and ever
na bia mo bia sa grassroots no a mo bre no se nim se maslow sika bi sa wo ho a Mugabe
wo mo no se de bo
wo mo no so mo de bo mo grassroots no mo bo aduma Abigail na me petam na me hia no
obeba ha next week
me nya ndisi ni se de bia meka ba me support John Mahama I work for him Mugabe woni me
dance
of course me NDC ni a moye nsem hu na mintim betena hanka mo pa mo nchia mebom me fa nche obia
enzu kwan
masrock no
me fa Mahama de criticize na wono so
obi enzu me say President Mahama enyo no me say apprentice no President Mahama wants the right thing to be done
of course
100%. Appointee obey wa so begu papa no mu ase no me sacrifice because mendao campaign Mugabe me say kan mo mu eduma me ye mini 2M na me say minus ne galamsey fu me no we ye galamsey ni o we small scale mine no obi aye madamfo
very well
in kwancha na me dey sure mo say mo hu de we ye hyehyɛ mo fidie mu ye say mo kotoma papa na ye ni e behwe aginem e ma mo nyam license aye adwuma enu tina still omo brena meni abrena enti mu me nyina enfa ntu ya ho
osom
na yenhwe se greediness no Abigail Maslows kanu fama mobrohufo grassroots omo hu adwuma 1,000 kwa fama omo cotton board na bank no omo sun didi men fama panyi bia they don't need it
Fabia was a
greediness ne do so too much
kela tuafo no waje mo na de abo ma
we mu nyina mo ye na say onko tua 60% no njai uni say omo de attorney general de yi bi say omo say den please de be
ba ho Ghana ba ho
mesa ba do na be kasa asem no munji skanya
for your time Dr. Solomon also from the United States of America mining engineer and consultant obo adwuma papa one day e won ho when we sua woman no e was a mine inside no and your lawyer Anderson danso ono so broker journalist so say mranim for o say criminal lawyer one was say immigration lawyer to ko UK a obon homodin papa kele ntua say mraso nti yɛde dwumadi ne besia ɔbaade ne dom yɛ ne yɛte ase a ɔkyena yɛbɛsan de nhyia ne mmom kyɛ kɛseɛ nkɔ ma lawyer Asami Jamfi good board yes CEO ne deputy Richard with greetings
friends medase ne ene ono nso frame me ofun sum yedi nkoma assure me say ono nso good board e ba we dem ma bia
mo fra breche basa ya mo slow down
say e ho no you waste time e ho no ye normal right into ba na normal yes na pasa
too much honorable Kofiwa the boss and honorable John Jenapo church amonyina ana combat baby am obi anyame nhia ma obaade ne dom ye ne etenkwema ochina at exactly 3 p.m. ye bese share on the same platform news is next the enwumre news akase bo papa the mu hwam number 1 na ede ebro memonyina monitor